All right, everybody. It's Awestruck Comics Podcast again. Oh, happy news day. Big news day.
A
News of
lot
the
of news
week.
came
This
out,
is Mark Leone's here. Mark Leone
and Rob Messick here
doing it
to
doing it live.
doing it live and giving it to you recorded.
Giving it
So
to
we edit
you.
out, and Mark takes a lot of time. He edit out all the ums and likes and
I don't
awkward
edit.
pauses. No,
No.
all right, never mind then. Yikes. Yeesh.
Long pauses. We're getting
Long,
better.
awkward,
We're getting better.
week to week.
Yeah. I think last week's reviews day was the best looking, I think, with the way I changed the format. Anyway, Um, so news of the week, All Star Comics podcast. I know we have Instagram. I got to start working on. I have my Instagram Idiosyncratic Pulp. You are on a couple things. What are you doing?
It's Rob Messick on Twitter. That's my daily original comic art, weird memes, whatever I find. I got the Maximum Supreme Twitter, where I do daily posts on Supreme, and you got us at Awestruck Comics at on Facebook. Doesn't really have anything to do with the podcast, just old comic strips that, I like. I actually working on a new one, so maybe we'll actually put
Oh,
something up there. That'll be different.
oh, new
And that's it.
new Angry Walt or something newer
It,
or something different than that.
it might be a new Angry Walt strip, yeah. So
Oh, that's my
I have a
favorite.
bunch written. It's just a matter of getting Milligan to draw them. That is
Mm,
the hill I have to climb.
tough. Well, hey man, we're all working. All right, let me jump in. Boom. Wait, am I doing full screen share? Hold on.
I don't
Messed
know.
up. I messed it up. Oh, there we go. Here it is. Here we go. Here we go. Big news week. So Comics Pro was this week, but first, so yesterday, Bleeding Cool. They revised it this morning, so I ended up stealing these images. So it'll say Bleeding Cool on the bottom. So,
All right.
but I guess they gave this away there, which is pretty cool. I'm confused on what Comics Pro is. So that is just for retailers, and where is it? Is it
I don't
is
know.
it somewhere for realsies? There has to be somewhere because there used to be a Diamond Summit. There used to be, and I was at one of those one time, and then got free stuff, and it was okay. It was real. It was in like a conference room and basically couple hotels or a hotel, bunch of different conference rooms. So, but yeah. So I'm
Is that when you
surprised.
worked for him or when you were at the store?
No, it was when I was at the store. It was like one of the last years. It was like '99, so I was able to go
All
down
right.
to Baltimore. That was pretty
I
fun. I
used to
saw
go to
Bill
their
there.
I used to go to the Diamond breakfasts before New York. They have a big Diamond retailer breakfast. Me and Walt will go to that back when Walt was running the store.
Oh, so you're a retailer. You're a
Yeah,
retailer.
I was a wink.
So it's true. That's fine.
It's
Um,
funny because the retailers always had a lot of some had really good questions, and then some people would repeat the same question again. I'm like, were you nervously not listening? Like, were you? I guess you were nervous to talk, and then you didn't listen to the guy before you ask the exact same question.
Probably.
Yeah,
That's probably the case.
but
Yeah.
they're really informative, and I think Diamond actually cared. I think they were actually listening to the retailers.
Mm,
Um, I don't know.
I don't know. So here we go. So here it is. Hush preview. I thought initially when I was looking at this logo earlier today with you, I was like, I feel like that's the same Batman logo. Now I'll have to look at it side by side. The only reason I
Yeah,
mention that is that Jorge Jimenez, when Chip Zdarsky took over, Jorge still moved over from Tinian's work and changed his style a little bit. I guess he's doing changing his style a third time. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But he actually created that Batman logo. I feel like it is a little bit because I feel like this pull down here is something. I
it is
first
a
off,
it is a good
this
design.
Hush too.
I love the bat ears and the M for the Batman. Like I think that's a really good design. Hush
Yeah,
too.
I'll have to say because I don't if they did steal it, I don't think that's cool. Okay. First off, I think this Hush here looks horrible, and this Hush with the two in it is awful. It's awful. It's awful. Other than that, I mean, it's laid out correctly. The bullet looks good. The credits look good. It's fine. I don't know. It's fine. We'll see how the actual trade dress is going to look. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
you're
but
right.
this,
This could have just been slapped together. They're not ready.
yeah, but because the Absolute Batman, I feel like the Absolute Batman Ashcan edition they put out for is it San Diego, what like that looked really good, and they since had put out like a I guess a noir edition, so that's kind of out again. Um, but you can tell this is a scan, which is nice, so you get to see the inks underneath. And I think everything else inside of it is no, I guess it is
See,
could be
isn't it
scanned.
weird? And well, do you think they should just do Hush number one?
Yeah,
Because I
I
feel
I
like if you're
I
going
don't
to
know
relaunch the
what they're
book
doing.
anyway, you're relaunching the book anyway, right? Like, isn't Matt Fraction? But we talk about that later. He's relaunching a new Batman number one.
Yeah, but
So,
the
so
whole
why
thing,
would you?
which will have legacy numbering, right? But they didn't announce the legacy numbering, but I imagine it's going to have legacy numbering, just like was it Batman, Greenland? There's legacy numbering on a couple things now,
Right, which I'm
and
great
Batman
with.
now. Yeah, sure.
Awestruck loves legacy numberings when they look well used on the cover. Don't make it look confusing. So stop calling this Batman 158. I'd rather be Batman Hush 1 or Batman Hush 1 and then somewhere on the cover you put
Yeah,
967.
no
Don't
one's
give
gonna
me
get mad.
158. 158's crappy. It's a crappy numbering. It's what?
Well, it's
That's a
also
Tom King,
confusing.
right? That's a Tom King Finch
Yeah,
number
right.
one.
hmm
Yeah, we don't need it. This isn't like it's not. What is that? Batman Volume 4? Something like that.
I think
Stop.
so. Yeah.
Stop. Go back to original numbering.
I don't know. I mean, it's also confusing because like it's not as if this is reverent to like, hey, remember Batman Hush? That was number what, 604 or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, that's because
It's
they
not
hadn't
like
rebooted Batman yet, so it was fine.
right. But he wanted to not put it. He wanted to boost Batman numbers. That was the point.
And I
You,
100% agree with him back then.
if you have a Hush 2 miniseries and you're still running a Fraction Batman, just money upon money. It's not taken from the same. It's not taken from the same well. People are still going to buy Batman. Batman we know
Well,
is going to sell.
we're not getting Matt
Mainline
Fraction. We're
Batman.
not getting Baction. We're not getting Matt Fraction Batman until September. So his that doesn't start till after Hush 2 Part 1
Part
ends.
one ends. Yeah, which is just a weird thing. So that makes it all the reason that so you're going to have Batman 158. You have six issues of Fraction Batman and Jorge Jimenez, and then
No, not
take
6. I
six
think it's
more
going to be
months.
12. I think no, it's going to take 12 months. I think from the last issue of
Oh, I see what
Batman
you're saying.
Hush 2 Part 1, I think it'll be 12 months before we get the last. Because they said 12 issues over 2 years. That gives an opening of doing 6 months in the beginning and 6 months at the end. And the 12 months in between will probably be the Matt Fraction Jorge Jimenez
Yeah, but then you take
series.
the wind out of that sail. Like if that got a certain momentum. First of all, I feel bad for Jorge Jimenez who gets a writer. You know, he came in. Did he draw at all for Snyder? He drew for Snyder on Justice League, but I don't think he drew for Snyder on Batman. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm right on that. Um,
Yeah.
maybe, but I think it's funny that now he's on like it's
Did he draw
very
for Tom
rare.
King?
No, I think you're right. Yeah, I don't think he drew for Tom King at all. I think he just did Snyder. You're right. Snyder didn't come back. There was all the dark stuff, dark metal, dark heavy metal, dark
Uh-huh.
metal
Right.
darks. So that's right. Yeah, but then All Star because then he did All Star Batman, which was fine. You know, it was kind of nothing with a bunch of artists, JRJR included.
Right.
But that was kind of nothing. I don't remember that at all. I hardly remember that series at all. You know, so Raphael Albuquerque, that's kind of was all his mainstays. Jock. I think he only worked with Jorge Jimenez in Justice League, but then you bring him on when Tinian takes over Batman and Tom King kind of got fired, but was able to just kind of do his own story anyway in Batman Catwoman.
Right.
Anyway, but this is
So
the
back to
first time
this.
like there's ever been like Jorge done three. We'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
yeah, so back to
So
this.
this
So
this
I feel like
page,
this is
Jim
just
Lee,
mm,
why are they dumping alligator gar into the Gotham River? Like they're more of like a warm water fish.
mm,
That's
I
my
don't know.
that's my limited knowledge of
They're
fish
not
today
Joker
for everyone.
fishes. I think they're Joker fishes. It's
They're
Joker
not.
shows up.
They're a specific, huge, awesome fish.
What is it?
I think they're called alligator gar. They if you when you see them in real life, their mouth looks like an alligator,
Well,
and they can grow pretty big.
it's a good thing it's in comic books 'cause I don't learn anything otherwise.
I
You know what I
know.
mean? So
That's right.
I'm not gonna learn
You
that.
know, that's good. Some people want to help you learn.
Amalgam. Uh, I mean, we've seen Jim Lee stuff so often. I don't know if it can be exciting anymore. I'm not sure because again, he's more clinical. None of these really excite me per se. Uh,
I
and
think
I
it
guess
all looks good. I think
it
everything
all looks
here
good,
looks
sure.
good.
It's good and capable. Uh, the only thing I have trouble with is that this Joker looks different. It always goes to Joker's faces, right? Because Joker's faces have been so that's the icon. It's Joker's face, right?
Yeah.
It's Killing Joke. It's three Jokers kind of had it best, where you have
Yeah, Jason
classic
Fabok,
Joker.
Jason Fabok, is it Fabok
Yeah,
we said?
sure.
Jason Fabok, yeah, drew definitive like great faces. Like he distinctly made each one. And this is
You have three different. You have the Englehart Joker. You have like an Aparo, Englehart Aparo.
mhm.
You have modern Joker, and then you have like classic like Jerry Robbins Joker. So like this looks different than his own Joker. So I'm a little confused. Like that face looks like it almost looks. You know what's funny? This almost looks like there is no John Romita Sr. at DC right now, right? But it almost looks like someone went in and was like, let's fix this up. Who was that over there? Was that
The bottom
Murphy
panel
Anderson?
looks like Bob Hope.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird like so, but you already have an established Joker from Hush One, so I don't understand why you're changing Joker like face here. Not sure. Again, could not. It's possible it's not done. It's not colored, so maybe it'll look a little different when it's colored. But yeah, this looks a little. You're right. It's a little too like smirky. I'm not sure. That's good. I like this. Kind of scary,
Yeah, that's
but
cool. That's like the first Venom appearance, in the shadows, you just see the smile in the eyes.
I was thinking about Venom the other day when I was looking at these action figures. I was thinking, I was like, is that an original character? It's kind of like I don't know how you can.
Oh, the
Does
idea that
McFarlane
Venom's
make
an original
royalties?
character?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he
Does
does.
McFarlane make royalties off of Venom?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Come on, man, so
I
goofy.
know.
Like
It's a weird
like
line. You
Deadpool
know
is a
what?
real character. Cable's a real character. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. They could be analogs for things. They could maybe have taken influence from things, but they're actual characters that they have storyline.
Yes. Yes,
Cable especially.
Venom. You know what? I'm glad people get money other than Marvel. That's all. We could kind of end it with that. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Deadpool is a fully original character. Cable is a fully original character. Venom is the spider suit on a bigger guy, and we put teeth on him.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, it's cool. We love Venom. Don't get me wrong. We needed Venom at that point. We
Yeah.
needed something new and original-ish, and it was
Yeah, but
cool to have a
it's
new
like the
villain.
Marvel movies that are just like the first so many Marvel movies are like, hey, we don't have time to have a villain. So how about the villain be the same character, but it's bad. Like
Well,
Ironmonger, right? It's like
like
you know what I mean? Like it's
does Bagley get a cut of Carnage? Does Ron
I
Lim
don't
get a
know.
cut of the rest of the symbiotes? Because
No.
now they're just variations on a theme.
Right.
I mean, think how original Winter Soldier is, and then like, oh, he's Bucky, so then he doesn't get any money for it
It's zero. Right.
because he's Bucky and not, you know what I mean? Like he could have not made him Bucky, just made him a cool new character. I would have been fine with that. Just like, hey, I'm a lost super soldier project character.
Yeah,
I would have preferred that. Bucky stays dead, Uncle Ben stays dead, Gwen stays dead.
I don't know. I see. I have such a good time with Winter Soldier, so like
No, it's great.
you know,
He he but like he didn't make any money. He doesn't get any royalties because it's just the same character, even though
right,
he 100% created a new character. And then he
right,
kills
right, right,
Nomad, who was the other Winter Soldier like type character. Like, let me kill the other
right.
long-haired trench coat Bucky, so I can be the new long-haired trench coat Bucky with a cable arm.
Jack
Now I'm shitting
Monroe.
on it, but I love Jack Monroe.
Yeah, it is funny.
Um,
They have make a special issue to kill a very special. This is a very special issue of Captain America. We're going to kill this character because we have another character in wait that's going to
dude,
replace that character basically.
that's
Hmm.
that's the Jeff Loeb way. Let me kill Abomination to bring in Abram. Let me kill
A
Sabretooth
bomb.
and I'll bring in Romulus.
Romulus is the worst.
Let's kill the old bad guy because the new bad guy is worse. And like Hush 2, is Hush 2
Is it about
uh
Hush? I don't know. I haven't seen
is it about
Hush
Hush?
at all. I don't know. I don't know. This is kind of
All
we
right.
think this is Jeff Loeb's swan song. This was the only picture I thought was funny because this is a new character. But when I saw this initially, I'm just like, is this the same character? It isn't. But wasn't there what was the Superman, the Bendis Superman character that was like the big like
Oh, the
Kryptonian
big,
like
yeah.
villain?
I forget his name.
They're like, this guy's coming. He's da da da. I'm like, yeah, it's
And
Doomsday.
it
You're basically
and the
doing
bad guy's
Doomsday
like
again.
named after the doctor that helped save Bennett's life. Like he chose that
Yeah,
doctor's last name to be this alien's character's name.
it's goofy.
This looks
Yeah.
cool. It looks cool, and I hope we like it all. I'm sure we'll like it. And as far as Jeff Loeb, yeah, he's still. We don't know if it's a the Swan song. It's a victory lap. You know,
Yeah, he's 80. You know, it the Long Halloween, last Halloween, which I think is late. That seems like it's late. Uh,
I think Liefeld had his cover last week on the show, which is a very. I think he's on the Sienkiewicz issue, so I think that's probably coming out this week.
hmm.
If he's got his copy, then we're probably getting our copies this week.
See, I like
So
it
yeah,
when Jim Lee does this stuff. When he does his weird stuff. Like we like his X-Men card set because it's like it's different looking. It so it we like Deathblow. You know, we
no,
like his
we
that's
do,
like
we
his Deathblow
enjoy.
style side sort of, you know.
Yeah, we enjoy Jim Lee inking himself or doing weird things.
It just
But you know
it's
what?
challenging him, but it's like he makes himself he likes to unchallenge himself, you know? Like he's so disciplined, you know, because was he almost an architect or that was what was I
No,
thinking?
medical.
Was I
Jim Lee's
thinking?
medical school.
That's right. But it's like
Jim Lee was going to be a doctor.
it's very cultural. Like it's like he can't go outside the lines. He's always been kind of the most responsible of all the creators, maybe besides maybe Silvestri, right?
You
Like
know,
so, and I feel that that hinders him in ways, you know.
yeah, it's like he hit a style that's lucrative and appealing to fans, and then he just didn't grow from there. I feel like
Right.
he grew, but not in any real leaps and bounds.
Right. It's
So
almost like the opposite of Frank Miller, where Frank Miller is like, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Like I'm just gonna
yeah,
go the other
people
way.
wish
And
people wish Frank Miller drew like he drew in the '90s. You know,
nope.
I still like what. Listen, get more Frank Miller is better than no Frank Miller, and more Jim Lee is better than no Jim Lee. So if it's Jim Lee just doing the same thing, I'll take it. If he can find inspiration while drawing, like this is him sitting at the table for the first time. We don't know how
Mm.
long. So the first issue might be boring, but the second issue might be more interesting. Like if he's not rushing and killing himself, maybe he's finding the time to be inventive.
Yeah,
Let's
I hope
hope.
so. You know, I guess I could liken him to like Buscema. Like Buscema on at a certain point became like perfect, and then he never got better or worse. But
There's
like it was just amazingly consistent, like through the night until he quit, basically.
no, it is. You know where Jim
That's
Lee
it.
excites us? His commissions. Some of
Right.
his commissions look incredible, and they're
See, this
innovative.
looks good. Like him doing like I don't feel like I see him do this, you know. I like this hatching. I don't see
No,
him.
I like
I
this
don't,
page
this
layout.
is yeah. I
Nightwing, yeah.
got it.
Why wouldn't Nightwing stand still? Would probably always be doing something.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's
like the
very
hatching here. So
introspective.
there is some stuff he's doing, I guess is fine. I feel like then I get something like this where I'm just like after it's the same face from like Fairchild in 1997. You know what I mean? Like it's just like nah. And
But we
I just
miss him
refuse to
drawing
believe
Fairchild, 1997.
I refuse to believe I've never liked her going back to Batgirl. I've never liked it. I think she should be
I liked it.
Oracle.
No, I like it. I especially liked it when it's like I got to be careful because I have this weird thing in my back, basically holding my spine together or whatever.
Uh,
And we don't even know where real medicine is. Neither one of us are doctors. Not a doctor. Um,
we're
we
not
don't know
doctors.
where science is. Because we do no research.
That's right.
I mean, if
Is
Batman
this
healed from his spine breaking, maybe she could heal from a bullet wound.
is this Talia, I guess, maybe? I guess I feel like everyone that's coming down and making out Batman's Talia, you know?
It's got to be.
Because okay, hold on. Let me think here. Where is this taking place? Is this going to take place that he has his son? No, like because Hush One was
Oh,
before
oh, what
Morrison.
era? Yeah, yeah. It's got to
I,
be. But
s-
yeah,
I still see no. Oh, there's Hush. There we go. There he is. There we go. That's gross. Yikes. Okay. I mean, listen, you have almost a whole issue here. I do like that I feel like Artist Edition kind of did something, which was Dunbeer's start was Wildstorm was with Jim Lee, right? It's got Dunbeer. But
Yeah.
I feel like that it became this weird premium. That's DeLuca's opinion of that stuff. He says, I don't know why that stuff has to be $150. Like the premium of that makes no sense. If you're trying to create new artists, like it should be $30. Like it should be, there's no reason for it to be. And some of them they reprint for like 30, 50, $40. Like it's where they'll make a small soft cover of it or they'll make it different. There's a Steranko one and I think a Ramita senior one. But like all the other ones, you got to spend $150 and they're never on sale. Then they go out of print and they're $300, $500. Like and some of them like Graffiti partner with DC when that happened and it's like let's do this. They did the I really wish I would have bought them. They have a Kelly Jones one, Kelly Jones Batman one, which has kind of like the first like 6 or 7 issues of his Batman run and a bunch of covers.
Yeah.
And I was working in Long Island. It was actually the week Prince died, and there was a shop up there, really good shop, and it was like retail. And I was like, oh, you can't do any less than that. And I guess I've always been like that, so I'm up there for work, and I'm trying to buy it, and the guy's like, that's $150. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, it's like, what about like $100? Like I don't know what these cost. I imagine that
Yeah.
they're probably even at a premium, but I couldn't do it. Didn't do it. And there's a Dead Man one too. And I feel like someone had it recently and they were both kind of on sale for 60, 70. And I was like, I can't do it. And then now they're not around again. But for them to kind of put this out and you could see it's basically, it's pencils, inks, it's pencils, inks, and the imperfections go away when coloring happens and, it gets cleaned up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um,
We should. I almost wonder if we should do a whole episode on just that book. Yeah, we'll just make it first on our reviews day. 158. So it's on sale in March, early March, I hope.
I don't know. That Dan Mora looks exact. This one looks exactly like an Andy Kubert. That doesn't look good at all, in my opinion. That's fine.
Lee Bermejo. I like that Lee Bermejo is just doing his version of Joker.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like you're right. If you think of a Lee Bermejo Joker, you have it. You have Noel. You have Joker. Like right. Uh,
Mm.
I think they just did a recent like Lex Luthor Man of Steel like Joker thing. I feel like they did something together. Like they reprinted that again, like a deluxe edition or something. Or maybe it was just Batman Joker deluxe edition with Noel in it. Anyway, yeah, so that's fine.
Anyway,
That's
that's
all
cool.
good.
All right. So what
No,
else? That's
Hush
not
2.
bad.
Is that on the? Okay, so yeah. See, it's weird. Like when this colored, it's black and white, and this is colored. And they have. I guess that might have been on the back. Hush 2. Look at that. It's like they forgot. Hush. Oh shit. 2. Like it's so rough to me.
I
That's
hope the
so
title really.
rough.
Yeah.
Hush 2. Here we go. Here we go. I'm wearing all my Godzilla gear. Um, IDW is pretty interesting because I feel so. IDW re-ups with Toho announces Godzilla Connected Universe, 3 titles, first ongoing series in 10 years. Uh, our boy Tim Seeley, again, we would like him to keep doing um, Local Man,
Yeah.
but that both of those guys need to go make money. I think Fleeks is doing something for Marvel. I forget it's not coming to me right now, but he's doing something for Marvel now. And I'm like, okay, good, get paid. You know what I mean? Same thing here, get paid. Now
Get
this
paid.
Nicola Jimenez, which is this artist did one or two of the Rivals one shots, I believe. So I feel like I've seen that name. But IDW, I want to say, is pretty cool in the fact that I didn't like this at first, but I love this. This logo looks great. That Godzilla logo looks great. This page layout looks great. Thin UPC,
And
great. I
that
feel
is just
like
straight up. Is that Gojira? Is that what that says?
perfect. This
Right?
does, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't look up
Um,
to. I mean, I've seen Gojira symbol enough to be like, I think that's it.
yeah.
It's a
But
neat
like
Godzilla. It's a neat take on
they
him.
have a little corner box and shit. Like I think that like I didn't like this logo at first, but now you're almost doing like a faux like DC logo. I don't care. I think it's cool. I'm fine. But
Mm.
what I was trying to my eventual point was is
It still just says ID to me. I see the W. It's very clear, but it's like I
I
still
think I'm
don't
just
think
used
it's a
to
great
it
logo.
now. I think I'm just used to it. So
I
I
think
think
it's too
that's
smart for its own good. I think it's so smart that half of fandom's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, ID Comics, I get that."
I don't know if
It
I'm
just looks like
yeah.
ID. I see the
No,
W.
you're
I'm
right.
not stupid. I've seen it, but like it doesn't look like anything. It's a bad move.
It probably is. Yeah. I just
But regardless, back to this
I like
book.
corner boxes. I like corner
So
boxes.
what's this book about? What's this book about?
I don't know. I imagine this
Do we
person's
know?
hunting. It's probably a G-force. She's probably a G-force person.
School Godzilla. It's
Yeah.
very Jimenez. It reminds me of Jimenez a little bit, like
Yeah.
that in
Well,
particular drawing of Godzilla, or at least
I
it looks
just
like
like
his sketch style.
I feel like I've talked about IDW that they everything counts, right? So if you like the Sophie Campbell turtle stuff, that counts. They actually have like another mutant series over there. It's kind of her stuff that she did.
Yeah,
You can have the future Kevin Eastman universe. You can have current, which is the Jason Aaron, but he doesn't forget anything. Nothing's forgotten per se. So
right.
you have these different genres of turtles. Here, they've only ever done different genres of Godzilla. So even with this, if these are the three connected titles, uh,
That's a nice
okay,
page.
yeah. So I guess the Godzilla is going to be, and I also like that this Godzilla is this definitive Godzilla design. This is what they're deciding. Okay, this Godzilla is comic Godzilla. Okay, because again, that's kind of the fun part with Godzilla, even if it's by accident. Like we always talk about. Like Flash and Green Lantern are accidentally legacy characters because they just wanted to use those names.
Yeah,
That's all. There wasn't anything, but then they're like, "Wow, that's Golden Age," and this is the like here they're like, "Okay, the suit is falling apart." Yeah, there's literal holes in some of the suits in some of the early Godzillas. So like, all right, we got to change the face. Okay, it's the same body, but the face is a little bit different, or the face is falling apart, or the eyes go in the one way or the other. Like just a mess. A lot of those Tohos are kind of a mess, which kind of makes them great. Um, so I guess, and then this, I guess just like a DMZ. This kind of reminds me of Pacific Rim. Was he selling this? Is this person like selling
yeah.
kaiju parts? You know?
You're right. No,
Uh,
that's always a fun idea. Mess with that. The we talked about Planetary the other week about issue two being the Gaiju issue, and there was
mm,
like a cult of people staying on Island Zero, eating the remains of the dead kaiju.
bah,
Like people think
right.
there's medicinal values or whatever. Like how rhino horns will help you stay erect. It's like bullshit, but like people
Is
believe
that
it
true?
anyway. I've never tried it. I've never gotten close enough to a rhino to
Seem to
fillet
know
the
that was
horn.
right at the top of your brain. Just saying. I'm saying it was right there.
It was like, let me hide my
So
bottles of rhino horn.
open the desk drawer.
Or yeah.
That's funny. So I don't know who that artist is, but that's pretty amazing looking.
On a quick look at that last cover, it looks like a duck walking. Like I know
Right,
it's the top of a baseball cap, but it's just funny.
right, right. Oh
Just
yeah, yeah.
funny.
And then we have a Space Godzilla. Well, it's like Mecha Godzilla, Space Godzilla 2. Like, so
Right.
I don't know. And it's kind of Transformery.
Transformery,
Look at that.
Voltron-y, you know, they should get like an Adam
Fine.
Warren variants for this.
Cool. Yeah, where's Adam Warren? Yeah, just great. Cool. Thank you. So yeah, I'm down for that. I think that's all good. Pretty much everything. One came out this week. I didn't read it yet. I'm behind on my reading, but yeah, the Godzilla Heist came out this week. I want to read that because that's kind of a pre-kickoff
Yeah.
to this kickoff. But I'm happy Toho is happy, right? Because they're a little finicky. They're a little difficult at times from what I've
They
heard.
seem a little difficult, but then they let IDW do a lot, but they don't let IDW do everything. Like we got
Well,
that Tom Shawley Godzilla Masterpiece comic, which we really
mhm,
liked, but he had pitched other Godzilla comics that IDW's like, or Toho's like, no, too weird. Too
right,
weird,
right,
Tommy.
right. Too weird. But we'll let it have a Gatsby who turns like 80 feet tall. That's no problem. You know what I mean? That's
No,
not that's not Godzilla.
that's
But
that's the great Gatsby.
but even then, like I mean, they license. I feel like there's different Toho licenses, right? Because then there's Toho licensing to uh DC, and the Toho DC universe seems to be just uh the movie MonsterVerse, like the MonsterVerse Godzilla design, right?
Right,
That
the
King Kong design.
legendary.
That's it,
Right.
legendary, right? But then Marvel seems to be movie. That seems to be not MonsterVerse. So I don't know. We haven't seen those yet.
I don't
But
know.
every
It's
cover,
funny.
variant cover is
We discuss
movies.
Godzilla almost every week. Like if you're a
Agreed.
Godzilla fan, it's
Going
just
pretty
been a
well.
good comic year for you. It's been a good movie years, you know? It's a good
Yeah,
time
I
to be
mean,
a Godzilla fan.
I don't know when I got re back into Godzilla. I don't really remember. And then I started getting the I think it was because I saw the NECA figures out. I think that's what kind of got me going. Target had the NECA figures, and I started getting one, two, three, four, and I think I have a total of I think 16. I think that sounds right. I don't have all of them, like, but I have the ones that I want. I have the ones that I
Yeah.
want. There's I might still get one that is like a. They have it up the. All Things Fun has it. I don't need the box. I think they had it for it was like 30, 35. Maybe I don't know. But that was the video game. So it's like an 8-bit video game. It's like painted on there.
That's
So I
neat.
guess there was a Godzilla 8-bit. But then Marvel just was able to reprint there. But I think that Herb Trimp was instructed to not draw Godzilla even at that time, like movie Godzilla. So it's always
That's
been
very
some type of
that's very weird
conversation.
for back then to do that.
It was
Like,
always in conversation, you know?
yeah, but why back in the 70s? Like, hey, don't draw him like the movie. What? Why
Yeah,
not?
especially
Is
coming
there
out of was that
because
before
is
that was
that
before Star Wars? Or no, I don't know, actually.
what did it come out the same time as the Shogun Warrior toy?
Yeah, but even Shogun Warrior toy, they like that can't look like Godzilla either. Like that was like that doesn't look like Godzilla per se.
And then Godzilla in the cartoon doesn't look like Godzilla either, right?
Nope.
Godzilla and Gadzuki,
Yeah, we
Godzilla
need to
Power Hour.
do. I need to do. There's a Godzilla encyclopedia that's out of print that I only ever see it on eBay for a lot, so I might eventually get that. But that's going to be pretty intensive. Oh, they also named this. They also named this era. So they actually named a comic era, which is like Heisei and all the other the Toho. So they actually named this is going to have its own continuity, which is great.
That's
So
fine.
I'm pretty excited about it.
It's very Power
Who's
Rangers-ish.
doing
That's what it
Chris
looks like the
Gooch?
most. Oh, actually, no, there it looks like Macross. It's like it's just
It's
everything.
Macross, yeah,
This looks a little bit of everything.
yeah. And what's
The
that? That's
Gooch.
important, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the
I
dragon
love
egg
it.
from a. All right, so what do we got here?
So
Ongoing
Spider-Man
series or
Wolverine,
miniseries?
I don't
Like, don't
know.
say, don't even say ongoing series anymore. Just say
Don't say it.
we question mark.
Especially if it's Kyle Andrews because he doesn't do ongoing series. He can't do ongoing series. He
No,
won't. It's not
he's
that he
not.
won't. It's just that he can't. He's not capable of drawing
I
that
think
much.
he's not busy in Hollywood anymore because he had a bunch of Hollywood jobs. Carl Andrews. That's why he
Hmm.
left, right? So I guess he's back. Like this is probably just his love. Like he just loves comics. Some of these guys go
Uh,
to Hollywood and stay because the money's good, and some people come back because they just love doing comics. I think Carl Andrews loves doing comics.
I
So
think
good
that
on
he's
him and
because
good.
he's yeah. I think because he's leaning into this specific style. I think it's kind of funny because that's when started seeing him again as my brother was doing
We
the variant covers with Unknown, and I was like, "Yo,
yeah,
see this?" And I was like, What's this? What's this all about?" So I feel like his, and then Marvel hired him to do those covers. Of course,
yes,
they're like, Why is this guy in South Jersey making money off of like Harry Andrews covers?"
too
And
funny.
now
We always
now
talking
he's
about.
back. You know,
In case we get a new listener this week, Mark's brother owns 616 Comics, a variant comic book company,
hmm yeah, yeah, he sells.
which is funny because Mark's brother doesn't really read them. He just makes variant covers.
Right, right, right.
He's
That's my argument with him typically is like you gotta just sit and read sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I know I ask him and then he'll just be, flipping upon. He's too busy. He
Does
probably
Nick
has
Ferrucci know
ADHD.
he's
Not
your
talking
brother?
about our. Yes, he does. Yeah. That what's funny is that like I wonder if he has the same thing. I guess. I mean, listen, I have severe ADHD, so I had kind of a freer weekend, and I just literally have this room ripped apart.
Yeah.
Like it's hard. It's horrible. So
Other
I
people get a
so
free weekend. They relax, read some books, watch the movies, catch up.
no.
Nope,
No,
not you.
I'm painting my entire office, which is like a 20 by 30 office in a hallway. Like and I have
And
it
you
only
didn't
half
need
of it
to.
painted.
You didn't even
No, I
need to. The
didn't
colors
need
look
to, but I wanted this desk over here. I wanted something a little different. I wanted
all
the
right.
desk set up a little bit different so I can have a fourth monitor because I definitely need four monitors for my work. I do not. Most people do
Well,
two monitors. I need four
you're
monitors.
you're probably going through like menopause, where you're getting
I am.
older. Things aren't
It's
working as well
something,
as they
man.
used to. You're like,
I
let me
got pills.
paint.
Paint and pills. Paint and pills. That's a different podcast. So I don't know why they named this year, especially later on. We'll talk about cancellations. I don't know why you named this year because again, they're saying this is like the third because they had like this like big this is coming out of the Spider-Man. I don't even know what that means. The Spider-Man Deadpool mini, the two minis they had, and I'm like, it is. So I don't understand what they're talking about. That's when they originally pitched this. They talked about this, but Guggenheim coming in, that's fine. But I feel like this 90s style of this, and I didn't read Spider-Man Reign 2. I think he was basically,
I liked it.
yeah, I don't know. I gotta read 1 and 2 maybe together. I'm not sure. I really
Probably.
like his Iron Fist series he did. I thought that was great. That was so good. Then he did like an ongoing after one, and then I think it didn't do well. But I would have liked him to keep going on Iron Fist. But yeah, there's the main cover.
You know what you
But
need for that
I
mana
feel like he's
pulse,
just
right,
leaning
Mark?
in on uh that
Rhino
90s style.
horn.
It's nuts. Rhino horn. I do need, yeah, that's fine.
Get some rhino horn.
Here's Bagley on
Um,
Bagley.
that's cool.
Bagley inks
We'll,
Bagley.
we'll take Bagley.
I'm just surprised at how much I like Bagley inking Bagley. He's never inked himself, but this retired Bagley is, just I feel like this is a little I guess it looks like J. Layston. I guess that might be the closest inks that I'm seeing on this, but um yeah, just it's solid. I think I disagree with the size of this, or I would have maybe split or put the Spider-Man larger over here. That Marvel doesn't need to be there. Or maybe I would just
I
put
would
this
have
whole
did
thing
something
here.
to not cover Spider-Man's foot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's goofy. I don't know. Hopefully that's not the final cover design. I'm not sure.
That's
That's
cool.
fine.
So it's so 90s. I love it. That's what we dig.
Well, that's
Because I
Spider-Man's
feel like there's an
90s logo.
energy. There's an energy missing. Yeah, it is. That's the Peter Parker Spider-Man logo, right?
Yeah.
When they changed Spider-Man, the McFarlane ejectiveless Spider-Man, when they changed it to Peter Parker Spider-Man,
Hmm. Yeah.
I think that's when they used that one. And I use it. I think they use it on other books too, but that one jumps out at me.
Ampersand. Big fan. Big fan of Ampersand. So, Comics Pro, good Superman plans coming. So Sophie Campbell, writer and artist, which I think is really weird that they hired or they decided, maybe it was in conjunction. Sophie Campbell, who does my favorite. I have the really nice hardcover somewhere in a stack over here. Don't know where it is right now, but I have the Glory hardcover
Right.
with the
Her
Joe
and Joe
Keating Glory
Keating,
covering.
right, did a really good Glory run for Extreme Studios, Rob Liefeld. It's a great series. And her Turtles run is like phenomenal. Like she's really good. She did stuff before that. Like I want to say like Full Moon or Wet Moon or something like that. She had her
Mhm.
own, she's built herself up over a long career. So she's writing and drawing the new Supergirl series. Although they got Art Germ to do the
Yeah, that's
new
why
costume design,
I don't know
that's
why.
weird. Did she not want to do it? Or
I'm
is it
not
just the
sure.
idea
It
of
might
like
be a
working those two?
stipulation. I don't know. It could be a stipulation because again, it's a little ambitious to bring on that. I mean, you could go. It's not that it's not safe, but it's a little more ambitious than expected. That's cool. That's good for me. I like that because but I feel like it would be very easy for them to be like, just throw some people on there like Tim Seeley or you get like Dan Waters. You get some of these newer people, and
Right.
then like a pretty good artist. You're gonna get like so. So I like this that's there. And then so that's the main. We'll go into. I have the art right after this.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty good.
No,
Did graphic novels I wrote and drew myself. Okay, same.
that's
So
all
doing the
Struck
same
approved.
Supergirl. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. My
Looks
main
like you take a
touchstones
little
were
bit of everything.
stories.
A lot of influences.
See, this is what I want.
Some,
It says Wild Costumes of the 70s. Yes, there were literal issues, and this
oh my
harkens back
goodness.
to like Millie the Model. There were issues where people sent in their designs in
Fans,
Adventure Comics. Yeah,
comic fans would send in their designs for her costume, and some of them were
and then
really
they would
wacky.
credit them.
Yeah, and then she would use them.
So, so
That's fun
maybe
stuff.
she's still doing it anyway. They're like, hey, I know Art Germ, they paid him money to do this. Maybe because they were like, we'll give them extra money. It's going to sell a little bit better if you have an Art Germ cover, even though I think they look like they're whatever for me. What does Liefeld call those? Horn,
Well, the
like,
thing is, Art Germ's super popular, but
yeah.
a bunch of people have stolen his style, and especially through AI. They just
Mhm.
like you can see they're just fake Art Germ covers, and they're Japanese sex dolls. That's what Liefeld
Yeah.
calls them, and he's right. That's what they look like.
Right.
You just do all your AI prompts, and you're like Art Germ, you know.
Yeah, so this is a version of, so I like it says the main touchstones for Kara Zor-El, the story is wild costumes of the 70s. Supergirl movie, which I haven't seen in a long time. I remember not liking it when I was a kid. It's probably
Yeah,
bad,
because
you know?
Superman's not in it. You're like, what? It's
Yeah,
like, oh, Superman's off in space. Is he? That's probably a great movie.
yeah.
What?
Can I
Did
have
that come
that?
out between 2 and 3 or between 3 and 4?
Two
Supergirl
and
the
three,
movie. Okay.
2 and 3. Yeah,
So it's like Superman 2, he fights the Kryptonian villains. Awesome. Then he goes off into space, has some crazy adventure, and then he comes back to space, and it's like, oh, let me fight a businessman again. And
yeah. Well,
his sister turns into a robot. Like, no,
Richard
give me the
Pryor,
space adventure. Actually,
which is the plot of Office Space.
although
So
the beginning of Superman Returns, he comes back from space. So maybe that's what Bryan Singer was trying to do with Superman Returns. Like discount Superman 3 and 4
yeah,
while he's off in
Superman
space.
Returns, is a nightmare,
It's
nightmare.
it's an okay movie.
The definition of okay. He doesn't punch anyone. Punches no one. And then I remember
Oh,
at the time when I saw the preview, wasn't didn't Supreme Power just come out? And then like in the Straczynski book where the Straczynski Gary Frank and someone shoots Hyperion in the eye, and then it like you know,
yeah,
and then
it
they
was
just
like
use that in the Superman trailer. I'm just like, yeah, I was like, you just stole that. Okay, cool. Like, yes, no
that's a
one's ever done that in the Superman legacy, sure, and there's a Superman archetype, but like, don't take that and have him punch that guy that shot him in the eye, please.
I love
Punch him.
if top five Straczynski is definitely his Supreme Power series for me.
Yeah. Why
Top
did it
five.
go? Was it just more of a situation where it was Supreme Power for like 16 issues, and then it went to Squadron Supreme after that, or what?
Yeah,
What
for
did it?
like 6 or 8 issues, and
And they
then it
were
stopped.
bad. Yeah, but it didn't
No, they
feel
weren't bad. He took it down a rating because Supreme Power was max, so it was like kind
right.
of a rated R comic. And
Yeah,
then
which
Squadron
made it good.
Supreme was PG-13, and it was just like I don't know why they had to relaunch it. I don't. Maybe it was sales. I don't know. Maybe they need
Yeah.
Gary Frank needed a break, and let's relaunch it and give him a couple month break between stories. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, it
know
didn't
why that
work.
happened.
Were any of those minis any good? Wasn't there like a Steve Dillon like night something? Wasn't there
I
something?
feel
There was a
like
couple minis around that
some of
time.
them were good, some of them weren't. Guggenheim they do Hyperion versus Nighthawk,
That's right. Yeah.
and then
The
didn't they try to do
Googs
another? I think they did another series. I think Chaykin wrote it. It was like, but it was like
was shaking.
I think they were trying to do Marvel characters in the Scott Squad Supreme universe. It's very weird.
Yeah, no good. Yeah, I
So
think you're right. Yeah, just no good. So yeah, I'm happy that. And then she talks about the CW show, so that's cool. So yeah, just kind of give me all that stuff, mash it all up. So I
yeah,
think that's pretty cool. And hopefully it'll get enough sales where it can kind of garner. I would think so if Campbell has some type of following. We always talk about how Poison Ivy's on issue 30, and you said that G. Willow Wilson has a following. Hopefully, Sophie
yeah.
Campbell also has enough followings to kind of just be its own thing and do its own and the way DC's kind of fractured right now, I don't feel that they would push Supergirl to be in whatever crossover and kind of ruin the momentum. So hopefully they just leave her alone, leave it
I
alone
think you'll
because I
definitely
think
get a solid 12 issues until the Supergirl movie comes out, and then
mm,
they'll kind of play it from there. I think you'll definitely get 12 to 18 issues of this.
oh yeah, this could be a good bet for again doing it early enough that movie comes out, you can say, hey, here you go. Well,
Here's a
you should
hardcover.
collect
You might be able to get a
all of
12 issue
the
hardcover out.
yeah, I think they should collect every bit of uh Marika Tamaki's the Being Super, which was the Joel Jones mini,
Yeah,
which totally is fine to go alongside what she just did with Skylar Partridge, which is coming up next actually. Skylar Partridge, like the backup for Action Comics, they should just do a whole Mariko Tamaki hardcover with that, please,
right.
because I
And
feel like all that can mesh. You know, that
simultaneously
doesn't contradict anything.
bring back the Jeff Loeb issues of Supergirl. Like what did he do? The first 12 with Ian Churchill?
Yeah, I know they're doing a compact of that storyline. I don't know if that storyline's
The
in a deluxe or
the
anything, like the Michael
the
Turner
Turner
one.
storyline or the
Mhm.
Churchill one? The Turner
The
one's
Turner.
phenomenal. That's
Yeah, it's
such a
good.
good story.
It's a really good
And it's a
Batman
great
too.
animated movie. They made an animated movie out of that, and it's fantastic.
Hmm. Did they do a good job on the art? Like the art's close.
Yeah.
I feel like they
Yeah,
do a pretty good job at that time before they turn into these weird robots now. I feel like they're like
yes.
robots now. I don't like the way that
It's
whatever
all
that next one
You
came
know what it
to.
looks like? It Crisis looks like the guy who does like the how movies should have ended or something.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what
yeah,
Crisis
yeah,
looks like. It looks like
yeah,
that guy's cartoons.
yeah. It's not great. It's not a
How
great
the movie should
situation.
have ended. He does
Yeah.
some really smart stuff on that, and you're like, ugh, how embarrassing.
So, 5 issue series again. This is coming out in June. When
This
does
is the
Superman come out?
this is Krypto, the last dog of Krypton. Superman comes out July 11th.
So you're gonna have one issue
So
out. One. You're
that's
gonna have
fine.
one issue out. Listen,
You
I
know what?
guess it's
Because
coming
you
out. You
want
know
that
what?
issue out. You
It's a
want that
five
issue
issue
out.
series.
This way, when people leave the idea is people leave that movie theater, hopefully go to a comic store, boom, Krypto comic, boom, Supergirl comic, you know,
Hmm. Yeah. When is Supergirl coming out? June. No.
May
June
14th.
2026. May 4th. Okay. So even better. Okay. So that's
So,
May. So you're
so
gonna
you'll
have,
have
yeah. You could have 12,
two, you have 2 to
10 to
3
12.
issues out of Supergirl. You'll definitely have 2 issues out of Supergirl, 1 issue of Krypto.
Right.
Because Supergirl,
Supergirl's
she
not
might
in.
even be.
You
Yes,
think
I
she's
think
in
she is.
Superman?
I think so. I think
You
so.
heard it here first, everyone. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's wrong, but you think she is? I guess so. You could. They could do a pickup. You know what I mean? They could
It
do
could
a
be the
pickup.
setup for the next. It could be a setup. Yeah, it could be a post credit thing. I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Like, listen, just because you're DC doesn't mean you don't have to. I would keep doing the Marvel thing. People love the credit scene. People just love it.
Except for the
It's a
Cap one. The
comic book
Cap one
thing.
was garbage. This most recent one was garbage. So Mike Norton always really consistent. Ryan North. I feel like Ryan North
That's a
Jughead's great. Ryan North FF I can't seem to get into, but didn't Ryan North do like Super Pets or something? Does he just write pets? I feel like he
does
did.
he? Did
Or
he?
no, I feel like he did Marvel Mutts or something. I feel like he did some stuff over at
Uh,
Marvel, like of all the animals and stuff. So that's fine.
no, I think
And
this will be
then
good.
he doesn't talk. So art capture. Oh, you know what? So actually, Mike Norton's actually perfect because he did a book called Battle Pug, which is like based on his
Yes.
dog. So that's actually like kind of a super perfect casting of that. So yeah. So then lastly, what should have been done all along, just give Mark Waid Action Comics. But little twist is they're going to basically have uh is this wouldn't be Birthright. I wonder if Wade is kind of backwards continuitying his own Birthright. Like he like because it wouldn't be so you're basically doing Superboy, Clark Kent, Superboy with
Yeah, but
Krypto, so you win there.
he wasn't Superboy in Birthright.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Superboy didn't come back until Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Superman Secret Origins. There had not been Superman as Superboy until that point. Birthright, all of Jeff Loeb stuff, everything post Man of Steel, no Superboy. So
So
Birthright, no Superboy.
mm,
So this is the first time we're seeing Mark Waid write an in continuity Superboy. And I think Jeff Johns kind of addressed that. I think he put Superboy in
mm.
Doomsday Clock. I think he reestablishes that Superman was Superboy in he did it in Secret Origins, and then they took it away for New 52, and then I think he brings it back for Doomsday Clock.
Mm.
I mean,
Well,
they never really should have got rid of it to begin with, but whatever. You can't go back and change 1986 Man of Steel. So yeah, so this is Mark Waid writing Superboy and Krypto in Action Comics.
yeah, and I like that it's Skylar Partridge, who was funnily enough didn't do what we just talked about doing, did that Supergirl backup, who I think is excellent. Uh, that is now working with Wade, who did the A story, even though I don't know if Clayman would have been a good pick for this, but I do like this pick. I have some of the art coming down here. Wade, I started the book with Clark as a 15-year-old boy learning to be a superhero for the first time. What is that like learning to use your powers at that age? What challenges are you facing? It's going to bring Smallville more up to
Now,
date.
what's interesting about this is that people who go see the Superman movie, I wonder if there is a Superboy in that Superman movie. They don't really delve into his origin, I think, that much in the movie. I think they're trying to avoid superhero origins for movies for a minute. So this might be his
Yeah.
origin for the movie. Not officially, but like, hey, we want more of his origin. Here you go, right in the comic.
Yeah.
So you go
Well,
see the Superman movie. You leave
I
the
feel like
theater.
the homework. I feel like the homework of like, we can't see Spidey's origin anymore. We can't see that. I don't think that's cool though, because I feel like with Cap Brave New World, like there was so much you needed to know that like if you just go see Cap because you're like, oh, that looks interesting, and you go see it, I think you'd be lost as hell, man. I think you'd be like mega lost. They barely
Yeah,
talk about Steve. They also, I know we're gonna do something else with that. Why did you take the line out? You took the line out from the trailer that he says you're not Steve Rogers. He says you're right, I'm not, which is actually a great retort just by the way he's saying it and with a certain level of pride. Also kind of depressed me too. Do you know how old Anthony Mackie is?
no. Is he
46.
is he
He's in real good
46?
fucking shape. Yeah, but he's in real good fucking shape, man. I feel so old. I painted the room the
How
on my
old?
back.
How old's
I
Chris?
laid on the ground.
How old is Chris Evans?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, Anthony Mackie is in 8 Mile. I forgot about that. He's like one of
Yeah.
he's the guy he raps against
hmm
at the end. I forgot. Um, I don't know. Farms don't look like that anymore. I know, but I don't care about that. I don't know. Hey, whatever. Whatever. It says visits Metropolis Expo up tomorrow. So I guess they're probably doing like some retrofuturism in Metropolis and then small whatever. Listen, I'm gonna read it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, why are you changing? So, like, if that's, and you have a Josh Middleton style, great. So I understand it. I do understand. Is that a see-through cape, or is that just maybe in
I think they're
the
just showing you her back is
her back's fine.
blue. Yeah.
Her back's blue.
She's got back.
Okay, but that
And
logo's
back
closer to that logo's closer to this new Superman logo, sort of. You know,
right, the Jim Lee. Eh, it's
it's
weird.
an italics
It's fine.
X. But is this the regular crest on the back? Seems so.
Looks like it. Yeah. You know what? I don't mind that. I think that's neat, actually. That's a good idea.
So
Like if
that's
you're
your
going to
House
mess
of
around
L
with the front,
crest.
yeah.
Hmm.
And that's her Supergirl symbol. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Maybe every super person should have their own variation on the super symbol. But like Superboy, like Connor Kent, he just has a symbol. He should have his own version on his chest, but then the House of L on his leather jacket.
Yeah, the Superman,
Yeah,
the Asian Superman, he has a different S too, because that's kind of cool
right,
looking. Right, but then you're right, but then have House of L crest on the back.
right.
You
The
hear that, DC? You can do it. Here's a magnificent. So it's nice to see Jay Lee drawing DC stuff. I'm trying to think if he. Oh yeah, well he did some Superman,
he does
Batman
some,
and stuff.
yeah.
But yeah,
That's
but we
neat.
pretty
That's
much
a
see
weird,
him every single month on some type of 1 to 3 Dynamite books.
yeah.
So
So this, you know
it's
what? Like
good.
him doing Dynamite. We talk about the Nacellverse comics often. Like they should go after Jay Lee, like too. Like I know we said that Liefeld should do covers for them, but they should go after Jay Lee as well. There's something about his style that looks neat on 80s properties. Can you
Mm.
imagine? Wait, did we see a Jay Lee Sectars? No, we saw an Adam Polina Sectars.
Yeah,
Jay Lee
good
Sectars
though.
would look
Right.
awesome. It was good. This
Yeah,
is a great cover. I love Krypton. It's that Art Deco, futuristic Metropolis style
I like
Krypton.
this thing. It's
That
great
weird
looking.
Krypton bird. I've seen that bird before, so it's a cool design. It's a neat CJ draw. I love the rocket. It's so
Mm.
ridiculous looking. It's awesome. And the red sun. Good job. Looks a
Yeah.
little orangey. I don't know.
So here's
Aw,
Mike
poor
Norton.
Krypton.
Mike Norton doing Krypto. So very good. And I wonder if this is like an established. Is that more Metropolis? Is that more Krypton? I guess.
Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
so still, I don't know if, I mean, again, this is a cover, so he's not probably not referencing anything. He's probably just doing whatever he wants per se, unless he was instructed, but that's fine. That's cool. Great. And yeah, we're not going to have any thought balloons, anything like that. See, it's weird because Crypto typically, a lot of times in the older Kurt Schaffenbacher art, he just
hmm
talks. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They're not going to do that
Yeah, yeah.
now.
And Alan Moore's Supreme Run, Radar, the crypto pastiche over there, he has little speakers on his collar. So if he thinks it, he talks. And he's always like calling Supreme Master, and
Mhm.
every once in a while he'll say something and it'll be like unintelligible or it's like a word that humans don't use. So it's just like a dog word. I'm like, that's pretty fun.
Mhm. Yeah,
Or
there's a
that
lot of
words
thought. I
that just
mean,
don't. There's a lot of
you
thought put
gotta
into that book.
yeah, you gotta remember you're working with like print materials, so you can kind of do whatever you want in this. So I'm curious on this. That's 5 issues, and there's a Skylar Partridge main cover. That CDs up there, you got CDs maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure when exactly they're placing this, but how about this? So this is going to be what John Byrne continuity. I feel like Wade doesn't like John Byrne because he played football in that, correct? In John Byrne's run, that's like the first page.
Yes, yeah. It was
Uh,
like the opposite of the movie. Like he wasn't the water boy.
right, right. So Meek, Meek, nervous, good. So a lot of good. Oh, it's got a bloody nose there. What's happening there? Hmm. Oh, two different shoes there. Got some Converse, unless that's just trying, and that seems to be the easiest like fix, right? Like it seems to be the easiest sort of like, oh, you're a new superhero, like what they did with like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, like just throw a pair of Keds on him or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
This is kind of weird. Like I feel like that's Paul Newman. Like you're just drawing Paul Newman,
It is
Paul
Paul
Newman,
Newman.
Joanne Woodward. That's okay. That's right. Again, well, actually, it's probably more like Smallville. It's almost more like the
Yeah,
show Smallville.
that's actually what I was thinking. The
Yeah.
Tom Schneider? No, what the hell is his name? Bo Duke? Bo and Luke Duke?
Bo Duke. Bo Duke. So yeah, I mean, listen, just give Wade, and here's what I would want for this, right? You ready? I want, and this can technically just start doing this, and then have him just go to Legion Superheroes Future, because there is no Legion Superheroes right now. So
I
just
know.
Wade, you can just start
And
doing your Legion Superheroes in your World's Finest style, or do World's Finest Legion Superheroes, or Action Comics featuring Superboy and Legion superheroes, like,
here,
because that was Adventure Comics, right? Wasn't that Adventure Comics?
yeah.
That was that. So just whatever, man. Look, just do that. And maybe that's a long-term plan, please,
I
I hope
think
that it sticks.
you're not going to see Legion of Superheroes in DC Comics until there's working on a Legion of Superheroes movie. That's what I think. I think they're waiting to see. They want to put their heads together with James Gunn and figure this thing out together. That's what I think DC should do because I think the Bendis version was a flop,
Hmm. Yep.
a
Big
true
time.
flop. Um, and what was the last time we saw Legion before Bendis? You know, uh, what actually was pretty good. Remember when Jim Shooter came back and did? I guess he took over Wade's run, right? Wade Kitson. Then it went to
Yeah.
was it Shooter Francis Manapul? Shooter Francis
I
Manapul stuff, really
I
good.
don't know. Yeah, I feel like I did like Shooter coming back to that. I thought that wasn't too bad. I just it just hasn't been, but the one that he did, the one that Wade did technically was just a little too dark. Like it's good. It's good, but then when it went to Supergirl, it still was a little too, it was like mixing the two. It was like mixing like the Mike Grell Cockrum era and like the Giffen, right? And the mixing of the two worked in some ways, and in other ways it felt too, out there. But I like Legion Lost. I think Legion Lost was a good. That I think Legion Lost is really good. Legion Worlds was pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty
Um,
good.
so I
Yeah, I
feel like it never got better than Legion Lost, and I would say in modern times. I think
see.
that's Legion Lost was great.
I'm a post Zero Hour Legion fan, which is it's just when I came into comics. You
Hmm.
know, like I love a lot of the stuff before that. I've gone back and since have an appreciation for all the Silver Age stuff. I've never read 5 years later. I've never read Titans at its 80s height when it was Titans and Legion together when those two books were DC's two most popular books in
Right.
the early 80s.
Yeah.
I've never delved into that era of Titans.
You should read. Yeah, you should read. Actually, you know what?
I'm going to read it all.
Read five
I
years
just haven't
later,
yet.
panel to panel on the DC app.
I mean, Mark, I'm just going to sit down and read Legion from start to finish at some point.
Hmm.
I'm just going to just go through it, starting from all
Uh,
the Superboy stuff.
yeah, I've read through the James Sherman stuff. I've read through all the Cockrum, all of the
I've
Grell,
and don't get me wrong, I've
James
read a decent
Sherman.
chunk.
Yeah, I read a
Every
ton of
time I get
Superboy and
one,
Legion of Superheroes. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
I
getting
just want to
towards
read
the
them
end of
all in
that
order.
where Giffen's coming in. It's really weird. It's also the weirdest progression ever. Giffen comes in coming off like a Cockrum clone with some Kirby elements, and then it just he evolves into his new Giffen in like 3 years. It's fast, faster than you'd think. Like that's what's kind of weird about it. You do great in Darkness Saga, it looks very specific. Larry Melstead inks, and then as soon as it turns to Giffen, it's crazy, dude. When it goes to 5 years later, like he's almost there, and then it's like it's a completely different shift. So, but yeah, I've never read, and I have a couple issues of that in physical in actual. But yeah, panel to panel, it's pretty fun with that
You know, it's
because
weird because like
most of that was like not there wasn't even there were like 12 panel grids, dude. It wasn't even 9 panel grid when he was doing that crap. Like he was just I remember looking at it when I was younger, I was like, why would you read this? I remember looking at it, I'm like, I hate this when I was younger.
I'm
When I
excited
was
to
like,
read it, and I'm excited to see like post Zero Hour is when I got into it as a reader. But I had previous Legion stuff which I always liked. But like the books, the Legion books right before Zero Hour look and feel like the Legion books after Zero Hour.
right,
It's very,
right,
I'm like, is this a new continuity now? I don't know.
right,
I'm
right, right.
excited to read. Like, it's just one of those books I never read completely, but I've read every Legion comic since Zero Hour.
Right, right.
So I wasn't real thrilled when Mark Waid and Kitson, even though I like Waid and Kitson's run, like I was like, no, just keep with the Zero Hour continuity. It really works good. It
Mhm.
really works good. But then Jeff Johns did the storyline with Gary Frank and Superman, where they brought back the Silver Age Legion as adults.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is awesome too. That's
I
what
thought
Brad
that was
Meltzer
going to
was
do
doing.
something. Wasn't there a rumor that Jim Lee was drawing something because he kept having teases of
Yeah, Jim
variant
Lee's
cover
got a
stuff?
there's a 6 page Jim Lee story. You know that?
Where? Oh, do
Ah,
I know that?
it's really nice looking. Yeah, he did a variants for Legion, but he did a 6 page story in one, I think the Art of Jim Lee book. I, I
Hmm.
got, I got a copy of it. I'll show you. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like 6 pages. I forget who wrote it. I feel like it was Jeff Johns. Because really, that's the book I think we never got was the Jeff Johns Jim Lee Legion. I think that was always Jim Lee's plan,
Yeah, but
but we
again,
never got to it.
yeah,
I
but
know
again,
Liefeld pitched Legion multiple times. I know he pitched it back in the 90s when Awesome funding got pulled. He had a
hmm,
pitch, and then he turned part of that pitch into Century, but then Century ended up being something totally different, which we never got anyway. And then he pitched it again at New 52, I think. But I think Jim Lee wanted to do it, but then Jim Lee never did it. And then we almost had before Bendis. What was it before Bendis or after Bendis? Was the Hickman pitch?
I think it was before Bendis went over. But we're
The
gonna get
Hickman
that
pitch.
anyway. We're gonna get that
We're going to get it.
recycled fucking pitch.
Supposedly the Hickman pitch is incredible. It's like better than his X-Men. So we'll see. All right, so
Hey,
let's move on.
if you can
We were
go, yeah, well, you'll
we were talking
see.
about Supergirl, and Super Dog, and Superman.
All right, spiraling back. So here we go. So okay, so we have 6 issues of Hush, yeah, and then
Yeah, yeah,
we get Batman. Now Fraction has been off, actually doing Godzilla shit. He was doing the Monarch series for years,
right.
so that's why he was away from comics for a little bit. So I'm actually a little bit. Uh, I think this could be inspired. So new Batman #1. I don't love the renumbering #1, but whatever. And what's funny is that we've talked about this on previous Awestruck news, which would you said, what are they going to do when who's going to take over Jim Lee Batman when he
Yeah.
leaves? Well, who's already doing it? Now is that James Gordon? Because again, Jorge Jimenez changes his style slightly every single time. This actually looks more like Rafael Albuquerque a little bit. He changes his style a little bit every time he gets a different writer. So I'm not mad at it. I just think it's funny, but
Do you love that bottom right panel?
I do.
He's like,
Yeah,
I love it. He's like, huh? That's a great usage of the exclamation point.
I do.
Is
Well,
it
you know
Gordon?
what?
It could be.
There's, but see,
Wait a minute.
But if you
Does
do it,
Gordon have to work his way back up, Mark?
that's what I want.
Didn't he
I
quit?
want that.
Well, then I
Yeah,
think that's what you're getting.
but then so that okay. So the one thing that the reason why we have Chip Zdarsky is Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction became very close friends on the Warren Ellis forums. You know, that's where they kind of were
Right.
talking initially. Then they created Sex Criminals.
Hmm.
And then when Fraction started to like kind of lead, I think towards the end of Sex Criminals, I feel like Zdarsky might have did more things in it, might have did some more writing, or
That's
Fraction kind
possible.
of helped him with stuff. I'm not really sure. But anyway, then Zdarsky starts doing stuff. for Marvel, and then what he did Marvel Team Up, which was pretty good. I feel like his
He
stuff
did.
never got better than when it first started.
Yeah,
He
I
did
remember really liking his Spectacular Spider-Man.
right with
That
Adam
was really
Kubert.
Adam Kubert. That was actually a really good run. I like that
Yeah,
they created this new character. It was like the Tinkerer's brother, but he was helping heroes out rather than helping out villains.
mhm.
I
Right.
mean,
But what was the big curveball on that? It was that J. Jonah Jameson knew he was Spider-Man, knew Peter
no, it
Parker
was
Spider-Man.
that girl who thought she was Peter Parker's sister was the big from like an old Spider-Man book.
That's right.
She's not
Right.
real. I think we find because she thinks she's Richard Parker's daughter,
Mhm.
but I think she's not. But she still considers her and Peter close enough to be like brother and sister, which avoids a
Yeah.
nice love triangle.
Right.
That was
Exactly.
one of the twists. It was good. I remember really liking that book, and I want to reread it because I got
Yeah.
time for that.
Exactly. Yeah. But I do like. I'm trying to see what that says. Butterfly something up there.
Maybe.
Um. But see, but I like it if, and this is the way it used to be. It used to be that you'd hand it off. So when Bendis left Brubaker Daredevil, he threw Daredevil in jail or what?
Yeah.
He threw Punisher and like so hopefully this is if this is continuity wise right after Zdarsky's run, which kind of ended with a whimper, unfortunately. But that was one of the things that he said at the end. He's like, maybe I just go back on the force. Like, what am I going to do? What's my purpose? I'm retired. Why am I doing this? Like, what? I'm not going to be a private eye, which I never thought was a good idea. So
No.
this could be riding the ship, just have him as a patrolman per se, and do that, do that.
Was he ever? He was
Um,
never a detective, so why would he be a private eye? That was never Detective Gordon, right? Wasn't he always
no,
just like he always just seemed like a beat cop?
correct. Yeah.
Kids on a
So it
beat,
did make any
beat
sense. Yeah.
kids.
This I thought was a cover at first, but this is how good Jimenez is, right? Like this is a
Yeah.
part of the story. So like, because I mean, you're just looking at it, and every time we drive down to Baltimore, I always think of we go over that one bridge,
Yes.
and on the side,
And
like we always think like, oh, there's
there's
like a
like
bunch
this.
of like houses and stuff, and like, oh, Wayne Manor's up there, and
There's like a
a,
mansion
a
like
bat jet
near a
comes
cliff.
out. Yeah.
Right.
It's like there it is. So I feel like that was this. I don't know who. I'm not sure who this is. Arkham Towers. I guess she works for Arkham Towers. I don't know what that is. Now, the funny thing is, and we'll get in a little bit later on, you got Waylon Jones here, got his iPad, so
This
keeping it
is a
modern,
lot
that's
of
fine.
preview material for a comic that's not coming out till September.
Well, that's why I'm hoping that like it's done. I'm hoping that it's going to just come out perfectly. And I think it will. I mean, again, the one thing that if he gets enough lead time, I mean, if he's literally started to work on it the second he finished, uh, the Zarsky run, or maybe he started even before then, because Tony Daniel did the
We're
last handful of
I
issues,
can
or co-did it.
unless they take Jimenez off for a crossover, which we'll talk about later, we could get 12 solid issues of Fraction Jimenez before
Please.
Jim Lee comes back for Hush 2 Part 2.
Yeah, please. Like and I don't know who's coloring this. I'm not sure if it's
I like
Tamara
it. I like the
Bonvillain.
blue cape, the blue
It's really
symbol.
good.
It's a really neat design. I'm excited for this book. It just sucks it's 6 months away, 7 months away.
It's so funny. You know what's so funny is that like Spider-Man has a similar situation where Spider-Man they're showing future stuff and you're just like, we're not done the initial stuff. So like we just
Don't,
finished Zarsky run. We're about to start something else and then we're like, wow, I want that next thing. Like we haven't even started the Jim Lee stuff. The Jim Lee stuff is not as exciting. We just looked at it as
yeah,
this, you
I
know.
know. This looks
Um,
a little more exciting, you're right. I mean, I'm not, obviously, it's all about Hush in March. March is Hush
Look at
month.
this
There's
belt.
nothing
It's
that's
kind
going to
of
beat
messy.
Hush.
What a
Do you think,
mess. It's kind of
do you think
fun
Hush
though.
2, you think Hush 2 is going to be the highest selling book of the year
I don't know.
of 2025?
I'm gonna
I'm,
say I don't know what the incentives are. I feel like this should be number one. I feel like if you're gonna do, listen, it's a
it's,
Batman number one. They're gonna have a Dan Mora alternate. They'll probably have a
of
Jim Lee
course,
alternate. They're gonna have maybe a
yes.
Dragata alternate. You know what I mean? Like,
I
what
hope,
if you? Because seriously, like where Absolute Batman's a thing. Very good. Detective, we like Detective and Miguel Janin. Okay. You are reading Batman and Robin. That's okay. I've stopped reading that. The Phil Kennedy Johnson, that's fine.
it's slowly becoming a glancer because you read Batman and Robin year one, you're like, this is so good. And then you read other
That's what I
Batman
want.
and Robin, you're like, I like it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But Damien, to me, like Damien's, he's not as annoying as I feel like he has been, but You're right. The Batman and Robin year one is making me not want to read that new Batman and Robin. So that's
And
the thing
that's
is
what I
you can
said.
oversaturate it. Yeah,
That's what I said when they were both announced. I was like, Mark, this is going to take away from that. Don't do these together. Like,
you're right.
don't do two Batman and Robin comics the
I
same
can't.
month.
And again, that's a good team. That's Javi Fernandez and Phil Kennedy Johnson. So it's a team I
Yeah,
want to read, but
that
I
is it. You're right.
don't want to
They're
read it.
solid.
Cool.
I know. Not
Way
good
to
for them.
go.
It's not good for them. That's why
No.
this book will not come out the same month as a Hush book. Because Jim Lee knows, like, I don't want to give people two different books. Like, Jim Lee's already got a fight against Absolute Batman.
He
That's
does.
already a
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
He's got to beat that book. So we got to see. We'll see where the sales are when Hush 2 hits like issue 4 or 5. Let's see where the
Why are
sales
you
are.
under there? Why are you under there? I guess it's too hot.
Uh-oh.
I have like a different window seat, so I think my cat was too hot like in the sun here, so it's like
Uh,
under the desk, like hitting my feet. What are you doing? Okay.
so
All right, but that belt's kind of great. I don't think I looked at that before. It's really messy.
it is
I
messy.
love it though. I think it's really fun.
Well, yeah, it never made
And
sense that
also
every pouch was the exact same size.
it's so funny like how the cape works. I don't want to do so doesn't want to do the normal that wants it to be.
This is this is like the Bob Kane print where he ripped off McFarlane, where it's just a couple Batmans in
Yeah.
different positions.
Right,
Oh,
right,
we
right.
should show that. We should show that one day. I love that.
That's yeah, but it says Jimenez is a designer, and I'm sure that I want to see what this logo looks like too, because I'm sure Jimenez designed that logo. Jimenez designed the current logo, and maybe even the Hush 2 logo by accident, or they just kind of like,
Yeah.
well, we just like this, which I don't think is right.
Yeah.
It should have its own thing. Should have its own. Starkings, I would imagine. Starkings is doing he does Jeff Loeb work essentially. Starkings. So
Yes.
Starkings, I imagine, is doing Hush 2,
Yeah.
and probably did that logo. I'm thinking about it now. If that
It would have
Batman
been
logo is
neat.
different.
Would have been neat to kind of do like the blocky Batman lettering of the early 400s, and then just Hush right after it in the exact same lettering. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too much or something. Something like that would have looked better. Just
Well, the
something more solid.
Batman, yeah, the Batman that was done there was more of the was when Lee took over, it was the 60s ish Batman, and then with the cape and the hat and the head. So I'm just like I didn't like that. I didn't like that for Hush. You're right. It should have been Batman the new. You talking about Batman the New Adventures?
Yeah,
That
like even the
blocky logo?
Batman. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
It's I
I
mean I
would
don't
have
know
rather had that than
because
that.
they
So
kept that logo right through 89. Like what was it in 89 through like the Death in a Family and Year 3 and A Lonely
mhm.
Place of Dying.
Right,
Like
right.
that's kind of like see if you're going to bring back Jim Lee, those Aparo issues is where a lot of Jim Lee fans were reading Batman.
Hmm.
Those issues is when you and I were into Batman first.
First,
So if you're
89.
gonna if yeah, so if Jim Lee's the ultimate callback artist, and he is from that era, why wouldn't you use the Batman logo from that era? Just thoughts. These are thoughts that, these are all struck solutions, as we like to say.
All Struck
Nobody
Solutions Department,
cares.
everybody.
Nobody cares, but we do.
When I first saw this, I wasn't. Why can't we go back to the circle? We're never going to go back to Yellow Circle. When was the last time there was the Yellow Circle? I know it's in World's Finest, but that's because that's more of a
That's
retro.
retro. Yeah.
We're not going to go new Yellow Circle. Seems
I don't
weird.
know. I don't know.
When was the last time we had the Yellow Circle?
It's a great question.
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. There's some people that do like the same Batman and then they just put the costumes together. I see that a lot of times on in Instagram. I'll see if I can find like that where
I'm
because I
gonna
should see what
do.
I'll put the logos up. I'll put up this. I want the logos. I want all the logos by year. And then I want because that would be referencing what we just talked about. And then I want to see if I can look at the symbol. There's got to be one too, same thing.
I'm
The
gonna
symbol
reverse it
throughout.
on my Batman run. It's gonna be a black circle with a yellow bat.
Why doesn't anyone do that? All Star Solutions
I don't
Department,
know.
everybody. Uh, that's not a
It's
bad idea. That's not
it's
a
been
bad
the
idea. It
same.
sounds like a bad idea, but it probably is a good idea.
No, it's actually not. It's not a bad idea. Like
Yeah.
you can picture it.
Why isn't that done though? So weird.
Has nobody
All
done
right.
that
I
in the
don't think
in
so.
the 60? It's been 60 years since the yellow circle was created, right? 1966 Batman.
Yeah,
Isn't that when they why they created it? So next year
correct. Yeah,
marks
the
the
trademark it.
60th anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah. But now they don't have to trademark it because it's more of an iconish thing. Now they don't have it, or they already have the trademark, so they can just have it. So I don't know.
I don't know.
So have you ever had these little music books that are like 33 and a third? I have a couple of them. I have one, I
Yes.
have a Prince one. So this company, Bloomsbury, are doing these small little stories about it. So I think the one that I want to read the most is I want to read probably both of these here. So these are Marvel Age of Comics, and exploration is what it says. So I mean,
Hmm.
actually, the Miles Morales might be kind of interesting if they have different things. I don't know what take they're doing here. Are they doing the story or are they doing the creators? So I don't know who Yatasha Womack is. We know the other people, so Watasha Moak, but I would be interested in seeing that because I wonder if you're going to get different interview information from Bendis or who was the original artist? Valeria Sheedy? Who was the original Miles Morales? Why am I blanking on that?
Was it
Is
Sarah
that right?
Shelley?
Sarah Bareilles. Yep. And then Valeria Sheedy, I think, did that later. But yeah, Chris Ryall, who is a pretty big fan of all Micronauts and worked
Yes.
I is still works at IDW. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
No, no, he's working somewhere else now because he's IDW for the longest time.
Yeah,
Went to
yeah.
Skybound for a minute, then went back to IDW. I feel like he's doing his own thing now. But didn't he
Doing my
help put
own
together
thing.
the Marvel uh the Stanley the Stanley book that just came out through Abrams? I think he did that, right?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if this is Abrams Comics art too, but like it's like it seems like it's in more in the world of that. It's the art appreciation of this. So the Daredevil Born Again, yeah, that would be I would hope to have a lot of that. I don't know what this is, the Mighty Benders versus the 70s versus the 70s. I guess it was like fighting for relevance potentially because I feel like there was so many kind of bad variations of Avengers around that time. So that's kind of interesting. So I would like to see that. And then the Decade of Dark Magic, I know exactly what they're talking about there. They're basically talking about probably the Ditko through the Brunner stuff, the stuff, the God issue,
Yeah. Oh
which
yeah.
was the God issue had a good. What was that series you told me to watch? And I ended up having to pirate it and download it. Uh,
For shame.
what was it? It was on Stars or something, or Encore or something.
Which one?
I don't know. It had the Stan Lee. It had the was it the Sean Gunn Stan Lee Jack Kirby one.
Oh my God. Yeah. What was that called? Wait a minute. It was by the Russo brothers, right?
Russo Brothers produced it,
Russo brothers
yeah,
did it.
and
Did
they
it.
were like
Did it.
8 to 12 minutes long of like almost like sketches.
It's like comic book history, but they got all incredible actors to play people in comics.
Yeah, you had Roy Wise as Roy Wise as Jack Kirby, which
Yes.
was great,
Yeah.
and because they talk about him going to New Gods and making fun of Funky Flashman, and then you had but then you had Sean Gunn as Stan Lee, great, actually a really really good Stan Lee,
Really good
uh,
Stanley.
really good, yeah, it's shocking, yeah,
And what's the name? Veronica Baccarin was Jeanette Kahn in the
Jeanette
70s.
Kahn. Yeah, which is correct because she's hot and Jeanette Kahn was like smoking hot in the 70s. Can you imagine that was your boss just like walking in your comic geeks and you're introverted and you have this like smoking hot, like very, very intelligent woman coming in?
Yeah, I forget the
It's
name of
pretty
that
crazy.
series, but it was really worth
Yeah.
it. The two
I'll
the two
pop me in
greatest
there.
comic shows of the past 10 years are that and Kirkman's series.
The
Kirkman's
comic book, yeah, the comic
Secret
book
History
history
of
comics,
Comics.
yeah, Secret History
Oh,
of Comics, yeah. I wish there
yeah.
was a second volume of that, like a second series of that, because I bought the one episode, the Marvel episode. The Marvel episode's great because the Marvel episode has, and they do like almost an animated version of the phone call of Kirby,
Yes.
and it's like your parents are fighting. Like I hate it and I love it at the same time because
And
by the end of it, they do make up. They fight about it and then they make up. And there's something that Jim Lee says that I think is 100% true. And this is where I want almost like the argument to just kind of end for Awestruck Solutions. We're ending the argument. We're going to end the argument now. Ready? Of a Stanley Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby may have put a lot of stuff in there, but he's never read a Marvel comic book. He's Stanley yells at him and says like, "You've never read a word that I wrote," or something like that. And then he doesn't dispute it. I feel like Jack
yeah, he
Kirby's
doesn't dispute
mind
it.
goes so much. I mean, the best story is one of his sons. I don't know if it was, I'm trying to remember which son it was, has a story of him. Roz couldn't pick up one of the kids at school. She was busy doing something. So Jack had to pick up his kid. and he went to pick up his kid. And he like drove up on like a sidewalk, like just like you're not supposed to do that, but like he just wasn't. He's not. He's having too many ideas in the world. So that was odd. And he has to get off the sidewalk, and they didn't make it home. He's just thinking, and they got lost. And this was before MapQuest, and so he's just
Yeah, yeah.
lost. He's just driving, and they got home like hours later, and Roz is yelling at him like, "What the hell is wrong? What the hell happened?" He's like, "I don't know. Dad started just dreaming or something." Like, you know what I mean? Like he has so many ideas. So I feel like that whole thing with him not reading anything is correct, and I feel like it's all ego. I feel like it's, of course, but I feel like it's, listen, you have the one article where they have Stanley as like the faint, like, and then they describe Kirby as like what, like an underwear salesman or something, like this like meek, and they just make fun of him in the article. But I feel like he probably didn't even care. People
Bobby
started
doesn't
talking to
care.
him about it.
Because the worst thing is, Jack Kirby would have kicked your ass. He was like this old school, streets of Brooklyn, ready to fight at any time. Saw real shit in World War II. Like he was a tough dude, but he was
Hmm.
like little and soft spoken. You know who does a really good job? And the second time I'll bring up Alan Moore Supreme, the Rick Veitch issue. Rick
Oh
Veitch drew
yeah,
90% of this issue. Liefeld drew 10%, and it's just a Kirby tribute. And it's
yeah.
just Supreme goes to this world, this floating hidden city, and it's just Kirby idea, Kirby idea, Kirby idea.
Hmm.
And the whole thing is
Right.
just about Kirby can't stop thinking. And it's such a great issue. Like really, like it should be like an award-winning issue.
Well, what's funny about
Um,
that is that what exactly did Liefeld do in that? He drew
he
Supreme.
Kirby Beach penciled Supreme,
Yeah.
but he penciled it in a way because Chris Sprouse was supposed to draw it, so it's him kind of doing a Chris Sprouse impression. Then Liefeld comes in and just draws all the Supreme drawings throughout the issue. So it's
Mhm.
Liefeld Supreme looking a little Chris Sprouse laid out by Veitch in a completely Jack Kirby looking Rick Veitch issue.
Right, but the funny thing about that is that basically the Supreme being a Superman analog is that when Kirby drew Superman for Superman's friend Jimmy Olsen,
Right.
Al Plastino or Murphy Anderson had to go in and redraw it because it wasn't a house style for Superman. So they
Yeah.
didn't like it. So they went back and redrew all of it. I like that. I actually have the New Gods figures, and they made a Superman, and the New Gods figures is a Jack Kirby drawn
I
head.
love it. I love that
It's
figure.
so cool. That's a
Yeah.
great figure. Yeah, I have those
Yeah.
in. I have to figure out a way how I
I
can
do wish
display
Chris Sprouse
those.
would have drawn it because he was the Supreme artist at the time. There's a Facebook group I'm on. It's all about Alan Moore's work at Awesome Comics,
Mhm.
and the one guy who heads it up went and photoshopped in Chris Sprouse Supremes that look like the drawings in that issue. So he photoshopped an issue where he put Chris Sprouse Supreme over Liefeld Supreme. So it
Oh
just
wow.
looks like Chris Sprouse drew it. It's pretty neat looking.
Hmm.
It's neat looking. So, all
So where
right. So
where this
next up,
spiraling back, that Doctor Strange, Decade of Dark Magic basically is that timeline of Steve Englehart getting really, because in that show they show Englehart and Brunner just like smoking out and getting really high in in
that's it.
Englehart's apartment, so um all right. So there's two of these. Well, actually there's a bunch of these in a row. So
Yeah.
Marvel does a very, very bad job at these press releases. They're horrible. So this is literally this is it. Greg Pak and Sumit Kumar's Death and Silver Surfer launches. Doesn't say if it's a mini, doesn't really say anything about it. Um,
You-
you know,
yeah.
that the
I'm
covers
looking at the
by
variant
like
covers. I'm looking at the variant covers. I see Joe Quesada's doing one. Is it new Joe Quesada art or is it like old art? Because Marvel does that. They just find old art
uh,
and just color it.
I
Could
don't
be
know,
new,
it'll be 100, 250, I
right?
don't know. But
And like, hasn't Silver Surfer died before? Is this an
yeah,
excuse so what's her name can play him in the FF movie? Like
yeah.
Shalabal comes
So
back in this.
people, right. So that's what I mean is like this is going the wrong way. Like I don't like that the Silver Surfer, the first time we see Silver Surfer, technically, and maybe they have to do a little bit different. There already was a Silver Surfer, the Rise of Silver Surfer movie. Maybe they have to do something a little bit different, but I just don't know if I need it. And this is such a funny cover because it's so fucking sad. It's like, man, I can't get my own book, which is kind of correct because like Silver Surfer is sad. Like there's tons of philosophical Silver Surfer Stanley written stuff was just like I'm exhausted and sad, you know. So
Yeah,
I guess that's fine. But yeah, there's nothing in here. This one actually had a press release. This was actually in a few different spaces. So this was a pretty good press release, but Chip Zdarsky, Valerio Sheedy. But the only thing I didn't like about this is relaunching Captain America is number one. I'm sure have legacy numbering, blah, blah, blah.
right.
Great cover, really, really good. I think
Yeah,
that's a really, really good cover.
Valerio.
Um,
Is it Valerio Sheedy?
Valerio Sheedy.
Skeety? Not sure
I
either
don't know.
way, but I like them. They're very much. It's another artist in that Jorge Jimenez, Pepe Larraz, Stuart Immonen. Like these guys
Yeah.
are good at that. Like they're not. There's other people who aren't as good at STEM, but they're pretty
Mhm.
good. I'm excited about this book. I know you're very, Chip Zdarsky. We don't know what we're going to get. Are we going to get Batman that you love so much, or are we going to get that spectacular Spider-Man that I love so much?
I feel like I like his Marvel stuff more. I feel like the Daredevil stuff just went too long and too out of control. Like the Daredevil stuff started pretty good, and then it just I just lost the thread, and then I never went
So,
back to it. I
but
never finished it.
but here's what's important, Mark. This comes out July 2025. Okay, 1 year later, July 2026 is the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. The
Mm,
250. Remember, 1976, the year I was born, is the bicentennial. And
right.
we got the incredible, incredible Jack Kirby Captain America Bicentennial Battles treasury size book. Are we going to get something like that from Marvel next year?
Uh,
Like, we need
no, they'll
a
probably blow
treasury
it.
sized that you might be right. They should start working
No,
on it now.
well, they'll probably blow it because I feel like they had like the Marvel Age 1000 or they had Marvel, they did those and they just did like a reprint of that, and both of those books were bad. Marvel Comics 1000 or like whatever, Marvel Age 1000, they were both bad.
No, right,
They,
right. I
but
like
like that
Marvel
and
Comics 1000.
uh,
Well, I like parts of it because some of it,
I
like
don't
like
like
the
1 or 2 page stories. I feel like they're a waste. Give me a six
I
or eight.
love the I love the Liefeld he called his story Force of X, making fun of like House of X, Powers of 10. He's like Force of X. That was his
Force
little
of
X Force
X.
one page. But you got a lot of good people in that. I do understand, it
I
was the
barely
limitations
remember
of
it.
a one page story. I remember the Al Ewing underlying story trying to bring back a golden age Marvel character because the whole point is this is a character that was actually in Marvel Comics. Now, Marvel Comics was only 1 or 2 issues, and then it became Marvel Mystery Comics, right?
Mhm. Right. Yep.
So they
Didn't
just
they have was it Incoming? There was like a book called Incoming, and that might have been Al Ewing as well, and they had that one like pulpy character that never could come out. Was that the same thing, or am I thinking of that?
yes, yeah, I think that's the same thing.
Okay,
It was
it's the
like a
same
black
thing.
mask character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel like that they tried to do it again after that or before that in Incoming, and it was like, oh, we're just not getting it anywhere. It's
You
not
know
going
what?
to go
Then
anywhere.
I should contact Abrams Books because I have this power. Like, listen, if Marvel doesn't do it, then Abrams should, and
Hmm.
just fill that book up with people. You know what? Would Liefeld do a Captain America story for Abrams Books? I mean, technically, it's not Marvel.
And then we
We'll
get
have a
our Kill
discussion
Raven over
about
there,
this.
maybe? Is that something that we can get at the Kill Raven? How do we get in Kill Raven?
Mark, look at me. That's a strong
I don't
possibility.
know. Oh, don't say. I don't
That's a strong possibility because
know.
I'm just gonna interject it here because it all fits in. The
Mm,
rumor is, the John Byrne Elsewhen. John Byrne
mm,
did 32 issues. He just penciled 32 original new X-Men stories, as if I think it takes place right after the death of Phoenix, only she doesn't
mm,
die, and he just does his own continuity. He puts in new stories, new Savage Land stories. He does a new origin for Wolverine that he always felt was the origin, and
mm.
he works in his what if. He did a what if that never got. I don't think he drew it, but he had a what if idea where it's like, what if Magneto started the X-Men, and they end up taking over the world, and I think that world dies because that X-Men ruled world can't beat Galactus.
Oh,
So
okay.
John Byrne does 32 pencil. Liefeld talked about this on his podcast this week. Listen to it. He's going to talk about it way more than I have because I haven't read them all. But the rumor is Abrams Books is going to ink it, color it,
Jesus.
produce it. Because John Byrne and Marvel couldn't work things out, but Abrams Books and John Byrne can. So that's the rumor at any rate.
I'll take that rumor. I'll take it.
I'll take that rumor. Think about this.
Hmm.
So John Byrne did new X-Men, and those pages were rumored to sell. five and $7,000. So that's $5,000 times 20 pages an issue times 30 issues. It's like $1.2 million he made in original art sales.
Oh, you
But
sold
think
all
about
those?
this. He sold them all. Yeah, that's the grift. The grift is he can't get paid for the comic because it's a fan fiction comic, right? It's fan
Yeah,
fiction.
right. Right.
Anyone can do fan fiction. He puts it up for free. You go on the John Byrne robot website. I forget what it's called.
Burn
And you
Robotics.
Byrne Robotics. You can read the whole 32 issues. 32 John Byrne issues of X-Men, just pencils, for free.
Hmm.
It's just insane. It blows my mind that he did that. So it's inspiring. It inspired Liefeld. He's got a Deadpool. I think he's got some Deadpool cable stuff that he was thinking about putting online for free. So if he ever does that in a couple of years after he gets this extreme stuff done,
Hmm.
you might see that happen. He might put it up for free, and then Abrams might collect it. It's a way of not working for Marvel. You
Right.
know,
Right.
it's interesting.
Guess they pay like a licensing fee. Yeah, we couldn't figure that out. We had that discussion before about like how is this FF book out? I don't understand. Like how is this not out,
You
you
know,
know?
you know, one of the reasons I started the Maximum Supreme Twitter page. First off, Supreme was taken. Extreme Supreme was taken. So finally, I went to Maximum Awesome Supreme was taken. So I went Maximum Supreme, and it wasn't taken. I think Maximum Press published 4 issues of Supreme
Right.
in between Image Comics and Awesome. But the reason I did that was I had a couple Supreme pitches I sent to Rob, and then Rob lost the license. So I'm like, well, maybe
Hmm.
I was thinking about putting out my Supreme comics as like a fan comic, which is
Right.
all it would be because I'm just a fan. If you're not working for Liefeld, then you're just a fan for Supreme. And since he didn't have the rights, I'm like, well, I'll just do it.
Hmm.
And then like he got the rights back. So I'm like, well, I guess I won't do that fan comic. I don't want to like insult him. I don't think
Right.
he'd care either way.
Yeah, I mean you
You know,
could do an analog, I mean that's an analog of an analog,
I have
one too.
I have that too. I don't have an analog of Supreme, but I have two Superman analogs, which you might see soon. So going back,
Uh-oh.
so
Oh,
circling all the way back,
yeah, here we go.
Abrams, possible John Byrne X-Men, and they should do the Treasury size edition of Captain America 250th anniversary of the United States. I don't know what it would be called, but if Abrams did it, well, you get a Liefeld story too, like a Heroes Reborn cap.
Oh yeah, yeah. Shit.
Get a Wade Garney cap. I don't know if Wade's exclusive to DC or not. Get a Ron Lim cap. Just get some Jim Lee. We don't know where Jim Lee, will
Kieran
be in a
Dwyer.
year. I love
Kieran
Karan
Dwyer.
Dwyer's cap. So
Yeah.
underrated, that guy.
Yep. John Burns'
Um,
nephew. You know that?
I
Or stepson?
steps on for a
Stepson.
while. I don't think John Byrne's no longer married to his wife, but
Oh,
that's
John
that's
Byrne
interesting
is
as
not
well.
married. Well, he's a very cantankerous person, so I can imagine that would be the case. So, interesting.
Yeah, we are
So,
spiraling all over the place, but I just, to me, if Marvel doesn't do it, Image could. Image could do a Treasury size, like here's Super Patriot from Larson, here's Die Hard or Agent America from Liefeld, or even getting Fighting American rights back. I don't know. Somebody
yeah,
should do something.
Captain Freedom, or
Captain
she's
Freedom.
Captain Freedom.
Just use
So
all like a patriotic image. Just ask all the guys. Who do you got? Who do you got, Portaccio? Who do you got? McFarlane?
what
Uh,
was Bertaccio's character in Image United that never
Fortress. He had a
Fortress?
miniseries planned. I think he had it halfway drawn. He had
Jeez.
2 miniseries planned to that character
God,
from Image United. Valentino had U.S. Mail. Remember that? Remember U.S.
U.S.
Mail?
Mail.
Here's
Yeah,
what's great about
that was
he
Murphy
did
Anderson.
two.
Murphy Anderson did some art in that.
Yeah, who
Kurt
inked it?
Swan. Kurt Swan.
No, it was Kurt Swan pencils,
Mm.
like
Is
Ulrich
it Howard?
inks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
beautiful. He did two trading cards of it, which I only have one, and then it was like a 16-page story and a thing of Shadowhawk, and then
Shadowhawk
they
special.
killed him, in Mars Attacks Image Comics. But
It's
yeah, there's a
continuity,
Valentino patriotic character. I know
which is
it is
continuity. So
continuity.
that's funny. That's funny.
So
So,
spiraling
um,
all the way back, Chip Starsky and Valerio Schiti.
now,
I don't
do
know.
you
I hope it's good.
what was that? Was Avengers Twilight? Was that the book that came out last year? The Zdarsky,
Yeah.
Daniel Acuna? See,
Hmm.
I can't. I read it and I enjoyed it. I read it like I waited until it was all done. I read it and I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I know that it took like Daniel Acuna like 3 years or something to draw it. I can't tell you anything that happened in it. I do remember liking the cap that was in it, but I felt it was similar to Earth X cap, so I wasn't that crazy about it. I
I didn't.
didn't feel super original. It felt like the same thing when he did Life Story or Spider-Man Life Story. I was like, it's almost good, but something about it's not doesn't feel
Well,
new.
Life Story really helped out by having Mark Bagley draw that.
Yeah,
That's
but
probably what helped that book out the most.
I would have rather had a different artist to draw the different eras, you know. But
Well, I can kind of agree with that to a point. But also, before that book came out, take a shot. Michel Fiffe pitched that same book to Marvel a year or two prior, and it was just going to be him doing the same. It was the exact same story of Spider-Man aging in real life, in real time. So by the time, Miles Morales comes around, he's like 60.
yeah, I also feel
And
like
I
he didn't
really,
age. He never got old in that book. Like
in
he
life, he did,
and
just
he got
not,
old, but he never was feeble or ever like he was just still kind of Spider-Man. Like it was just kind
well,
of
he's,
like
yeah.
I like Alex Ross's other Spider-Man where he's just like this fat B cop. Like I think that's funnier. And then
Yeah, but I think
he was wearing like a Peter Parker Spider-Man costume. It says Peter Parker Spider-Man on top, like at the end with his belly hanging out. Like I think that was a cooler concept, more realistic concept, being
you,
a fat older
you
man.
just want to,
You know,
look like Peter Parker. You don't want Peter Parker to look like you.
so Peter B Parker is pretty relatable. So anyway,
So,
so I don't. The point
but,
is, I don't remember Chip's run. I do remember liking Marvel 2 and 1. That's when they were in this weird limbo of Fantastic Four not being printed, if you remember. And
mhm.
then I thought he was going to get it, and then he
but
didn't get
but
it.
he also had that book start
And
off with
Slott got it.
Jim Chong,
Yeah, so it was helping
perfect.
Valeria to the end of it. So, uh, but let's say a massive Captain America fan for decades. I love writing the grizzled older Cap in Avengers Twilight. To get to write actual Captain America feels like a dream. We're exploring Cap's early days in the modern era with a twist that I think will really surprise readers. So I don't know what that means.
Is it going to be a twist we like or not? That's the question.
I don't know. But then
Listen,
there was something else in a different article I thought I read that I don't see it here. That I thought it was like when he comes out of the ice. So I'm not sure. I think it might have been in a different article. There was another something or other that there wasn't on this.
I don't want to, I don't know if I want to get, listen, I need Captain America. I need
Yeah.
really good Captain America action. This book needs to be action filled because this is a Kirby. Think about Kirby Cap, dude. That's all he did was jump around and throw the shield. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're gonna read the hell out of this book and we'll talk about it. When's it come out? Does it say? Oh, July.
July
So
July 2nd. So like it's 4th of July. Great.
cool.
Week of 4th of
No,
July.
totally great.
Great idea. Um,
So we'll get
so
issue
that's where I
12.
wasn't sure because they're saying like new Helen Commander designs. I do like that. That looks good. Looks very like kind of like the new G.I. Joe stuff, which is fine. You know, that's fine.
Yeah, we should absolutely have
Um,
that.
I like
The
the
costume looks
design
good.
of this. Yeah, I think it's good. Again, it's perfect costume. You don't have to make too many variations on it. When you do, I don't know if I like it. So I don't know. This is kind of like his
Is this stealth cap?
yeah, this is kind of like the Cap's costume in like Winter Soldier. It's kind of like Cap's ultimate costume. It's kind of like Cap's costume in the movie,
Yeah.
you know. So it is a cool combo of everything. Um, it's like what was it? What was he called? What was he called when he was
Super Soldier, right?
Super Soldier? Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, so again, I will see. I hope that after Batman, after Daredevil, he just takes a couple, you know, couple shots and then just can just give me
He
something
he
fresh
needs to
here.
go read the Grunwald run from start to finish. He should really go back. If you're gonna, I feel like if you're a Marvel writer, you should go back
Mhm.
and read the entire run, or at the very least, 60s through Heroes Reborn. You
You
don't have
got
to
to
read the
read
stuff
all of
past
it,
that too
I
much.
think, to, I know, but I think you have to read all of it to kind of get all of it. I mean, we've read everything. We read through Marvel Knights. Read through,
I've read
uh,
everything. I've read through the 40s. I went back and read all the
I
40
never
stuff.
read Cap Avengers. I probably read through 100 to 200-ish, then I stopped, and then I read the Kirby stuff through now. So
Ugh,
there's a
and the
handful
Burn
in the middle I
stuff,
haven't.
so
Yeah.
good.
The John Byrne
Burn's Cap
register,
run
but
is great.
but they just they didn't call them. It's so weird. It's like that never
Yeah,
completed.
I did hear the story once, but now I totally forget.
Yeah.
because the
Yeah,
next issue is like three-quarters done.
right. Yeah.
So
Which you can find. You can. I think they put out. I think Cap War and Remembrance like trade. I had that when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I had a bunch of pages in the back. I was like, oh, this book never came. They have pages of that story that never came out. So
yeah, they're also in
very
the
good.
John Byrne Scott Beer original
Dune
art
beer.
collection.
See, this is why I
So
think when you were saying the bicentennial or bicentennial and a half, I feel like Marvel and like they don't have it together enough. Like even this, that there was pictures of Marie Javins and CB Cebulski, and they did comment that they have two one shots planned, and they're so you here we go, two one shot issues, one from Marvel titled Marvel DC, another from DC titled DC Marvel. Don't even put this press release out. Just put out the rumor. Don't even say you're doing it. The only thing that, and we talked about this, I've seen, if you go on Nearman Condition, he does videos of Omnibuy, right?
right,
So both of the amalgam and the Marvel DC, which they said are only printed once, I kind of see them around. I see them more around than anything else. Uh, they're still very too expensive, but the extras in it look great. But I just have will have trouble buying, I guess, the amalgam one because the amalgam one is missing two issues, three issues. Magneto,
right, at least two.
at least two.
The
X Patrol, X
No,
Patrol.
that was Kiesel. That was Barbara Kiesel, I
Okay,
think, or Carl
so I
Kiesel.
guess just the Magneto and the Magnetic Men, whatever.
Right,
But there's two
right.
issues, but see, I have trouble with that. But there's a ton of extras in both of them. I'm not sure who designed it. I'm not sure who was in charge of it. I feel like whoever printed it, I feel like it was DC, which means we're not. I don't see any digital versions of this thing. I don't think we're gonna get any because they don't do digital versions of their omnibus. This is
They
um,
should. If
the
you're paying for that
Marvels
DC
put them
app,
out. They don't put it. Yeah, they put the trades out. They put deluxe editions out on the DC app. They put deluxe editions out kind of the day they come out, so that's kind of cool. DC app I think is much better than the Marvel app. I think if the search function is not as good on the Marvel app, whereas DC their sorting is a little bit good. It's okay. But anyway, so I don't know. So this is fine that this was announced. It was a soft announce. There was barely anything, but I'm happy about it, but we'll see. But I don't like that they're basically just kind of say those are the titles. That's the best title you can come up with. Marvel, DC, DC, Marvel. It's just crap. All right, awesome. Another weird thing where um, I'm excited for what this 975. The countdown number one's not out yet. We're still slogging through the eight deaths of Spider-Man,
right.
which I think was supposed to be eight issues, which is going to end up being like 12 issues between the point deaths and the and half Joe Kelly and not Joe Kelly. It's like I think he's written two of the issues so far. I don't understand. I don't understand that whole thing. That's a filler to just get to this, and this just looks like a mess. Like I don't know what I'm looking at here. I don't. It's like an Iron Spidery costumey thing.
I don't know.
I
You
don't
got a
really.
weird Carnage thing, it's the Venom thing, and Venom Spider Ham.
I don't know. Yeah, I
I
guess
don't
it is
know.
Spider-Man
So,
because
so what is
I
this?
couldn't tell it was anything.
I don't understand. This is a cover for Amazing Spider-Man 11. Is
Yeah,
that what it says?
and that is the
Later this year.
new
We
JRJR
haven't gotten we haven't
design.
gotten Amazing Spider-Man number
I'm
one
telling.
yet.
Nah,
Amazing
number
Spider-Man number
11.
one is what, April? So we're
Yeah,
talking about a book that doesn't come out till, is this book monthly or
it's going to be
bi-monthly or bi?
December. I think it says it. I think it said. I think it says this year. It says this, and one another part of it is later this year. So it's got to be by
Okay.
December. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So
So
yeah,
cool.
so that would
So
be eight
issue
months out.
11 is also 975. Cool. That's cool.
Sure. We'll see.
It's a
We'll see.
non-story. This is a non-story. And we like news, and I'll take little pieces of news. But
We're
this is a
doing it
weird thing to make a big deal of.
again. They don't say anything. They don't say anything. This is a little bit more, but this is to me like I feel like they do all these one shots and they're just so inconsequential. Have you looked at any of the Straczynski like team up one shots that are coming out? I think I missed three of them so far. I don't care about it. They had Rocket
I
Raccoon
think
and
only one's come out, right?
Doctor. I don't know. Was Doctor Doom Rocket
I
Raccoon?
read that. It was okay. It was okay.
I don't think
I
you can
mean,
put that out. I mean, to me, that's like we haven't covered any of the One Nation under Doom. Like I didn't because that's Age of Apocalypse with Doom, right? I guess
no.
just like it's not. I don't
No,
know.
it's just Doom controls the world as Sorcerer Supreme. but I don't know why that makes him any more powerful than he's ever been before. Like, there's been other sorcerers as strong as Doctor Strange, and none of them have completely taken over the world. But also, he took over the world with Secret War.
Mm. Right.
Like, he just recreated the world's own image. You think, like, I don't know, it just seems like here's a story where I'm not as powerful as I once was, but I'm still doing the same thing. It's a weird
Yeah, I
story.
don't
We'll
know.
talk about it when we read the book. I read the book.
Yeah,
You did.
I don't know.
We'll talk about
Maybe
it
maybe I'll
on
skip it.
reviews day this week. Don't
I
skip
think
it.
maybe
I got to talk
I think
about it.
maybe we'll skip it. I think maybe we'll skip it.
No.
All right, seven one shots. They're gonna have probably like a theme, but this is what I think this is
This is
really
Marvel.
weird.
It's called Bring on the Bad Guys. This is the
Yeah,
event
yeah.
for June 20th. Is every month an event? I feel like there's never a non-event month.
Got to event it. Got to event. Yeah, because One Nation Under Doom will be over. So what do we do? More Doom. You know, like because I guess they're just kind of like, all right, we have Robert Downey Jr. Doom coming, so let's just do that. Um, but yeah, so they have a new villain joining the ranks, Sister Sorrow, who is every
Who's
bit as
every bit as
dangerous
dangerous and
and
formidable
no.
as these classic
And then
villains. No, she's
also
not. She's brand new.
Mephisto seeks enough souls and power an ancient artifact called the Soul Forge. So it's just a MacGuffin. You're gonna do another MacGuffin. Hooray! You know,
I mean,
hooray!
that's a nice cover. Is it Liber Mejo or AI Liber Mejo?
I think it's AI Libre Mayo. Yep. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think it's.
I don't know either.
But I grabbed
That's
this
right.
one because again, that's the Ramita, and that's Mike McCone. Mike McCone. Uh, 6, 7. You have 7 here. Somebody there is not going to get a one shot. I guess. Right. You have 7 one shots,
Well,
or I guess no. Maybe they are those 7 one shots. But then Sister Sorrow, which is this character here, which just looks like uh every Hickman character essentially. Every
it's
Hickman
Hickman. It looks
Dark
like
Order.
reminds me of something out of like Fear itself or whatever, when everyone's getting
Yeah,
upped.
Sister
I don't know. It's
Sorrow.
fine. It's a fine character. It's like
I like that logo.
she'd be like,
Make that logo bigger. What are you doing? Come on. That's right. Wrong. Right. Wrong. Okay. All right. Enough. Here we go. As our ongoing news and ongoing coverage of Ultimate Universe, which is a very disjointed universe, but I do like that Jonas Scharf did the art for some of the Blackstone stuff for Conan, is doing Hell Hunters and also did the one shot, The Ultimate Universe 1 year later, Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. When this first was rumored, I thought that Hickman was supposed to do it. He's not doing it. Hooray. So good. So you have Cody Ziegler, Dennis Camp. Those are the new architects, I feel. I think like that's it. Who's writing? Is Cody Ziegler writing Black Panther? I don't know who's writing Black Panther.
I don't know.
No, it's not.
Sorry.
But this is, looking at this lineup here. So now we have Miles here. Okay.
Right.
I guess that's
Miles in,
a
in a new
storm.
costume, a very Spider-Man
Yeah,
2099 looking costume, which is kind of
yeah.
unfortunate. I guess that's where the storyline is going in his own book. But like kind of when you
Uh,
do this crossover, you should have had him in his more Milesy costume. I don't know.
yeah. But you have Sarah Bocelli. I mean, you have Sarah Bocelli drawing this, the originator of Miles, so that's kind of good, a good
Yes.
callback. But I feel like that storm design is the storm design from Ultimate Black Panther. You have Ultimate Wolverine in there because you have
It's
him
not her design.
representing.
Is she in Ultimate X-Men?
I don't think so. I think she's just an Ultimate Black Panther. So again, you have no X-Men presence in this universe right now. So I think that's odd, but that's okay.
Except for those two.
Yeah. Yep. Fine. But see, again, I want this again. Like I want this series. I want the Dennis Camp of it all, just to kind of keep
Yeah.
going, and keep evolving that universe to the point where, whenever you're done, and what's so confusing to me is that book is Ultimate Spider-Man is beyond it's just a frustrating read to me every single time I read it, every single time. But it just sells great. I think
I
Pete
feel like
Hagen read it, and he was on his Instagram recently. He's like, "This is so great." I'm like, "Why are you reading this?" You know what I mean? Like, because it's an old.
because it's
You know
relatable,
why?
because we're old
Yeah, because
men
he's
with
got two
kids.
kids, and then yeah, exactly. I understand, but
No, I understand
I
that.
just I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like this Ultimate Universe has yet to really form. Whereas I feel like the Ultimate Universe on the other side was very formed, got better, and then got worse. This is like worse. I hope it gets better. Starts
Right.
worse. Hope it gets better. Um, Even more boring Alex Ross timeless variant covers. And you even said when we looked at them, where's the rest of their bodies? Because that is correct. We do know from
I
Liefeld's podcast that he knows people who literally just go to the shop. Hey, I need all of the timeless covers. You need all of these covers, the white void background, and you know there's more to see, but you're not going to see it. And I feel that there was a Marvel, might have been an Abrams book. There was a Marvel mural which you can buy, which is a huge poster of all of them fully formed, and he just kind of photoshops them all together. Well, not bad, but
right,
well.
right. See, yeah, I would. These are interesting if I could see the fully formed figures, but like just seeing that, that's boring. I don't want to pay for. Cool, it's a bust of Nighthawk, Gargoyle. I mean, it's awesome looking. I like it, but I like.
Yeah, I just grabbed the
I know,
75
I
just
know,
because.
I'm not getting the whole thing. You know,
Yeah, the Moon Knight was okay. I feel like this, I didn't put the Nick Fury one up, but there is a Nick Fury by Lee Weeks in Marvel Shadows and Light, and I'll throw it up there because I feel like it looks exactly like that. It was like an interior cover. It wasn't the main cover, but I feel like it might just be in Alex Ross's universe. I don't think he's swiping it or anything. Like I just feel like it's in his brain somewhere.
I
Subconsciously,
heard
he's
someone
drawing that.
call Tigra. I'm like,
Oh,
how does that? Or I'm like, or Tigra, and I'm like, I don't like that. It's
yeah,
Tigra.
Tigra baby.
I mean, phonetically, he might
Uh,
be correct, but you got to get that Tiger name in there.
Here's the second death of. So you have a book called The Immortal Thor. So what do? You kill him? I don't understand this. And again, this is literally this is it. Now listen, I know we're in an AI universe. Just have AI write the fucking article, right? Like just have Marvel just put in something, put in a couple things. Just have Chat GPT give me a little more than this. This is not a press release. Who got paid for this?
No,
What is
and
this?
it's like the worst. The God of Thunder faces a deadly new trial. Yeah, of course. That's called the comic series. Every book is a trial. It's like I don't know. It's a non-article. Who cares? He might die. It teases
Even
the death.
even
How
the
about
ad.
you?
No, it's
How
called
about
The
you wait for
Immortal
him to
Thor.
die?
You're not killing Thor. I'm sorry. It's not gonna it's whatever.
Not
And if you
long
do,
term,
so
but
what?
like what? Someone else becomes Thor
We've
again?
already
I
done
roll.
this. I just feel like and then you give us this is just the same issue number one. Just fade like just who made this? Yeah, 10 minutes. Come on, man. Non-news. Non-news when covering news. This is better. Okay. Also, small non-news. It'll feature 3D 3K X-Men.
Right.
Check out 3K X-Men below. Stay tuned. More information.
So are they
Okay.
from the future or are they just the new
3K
generation?
X-Men
Well,
3000.
right. That's the same era as like Legion of Superheroes and Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Isn't Guardians 3000?
Yes, Guardians 3000. Right, correct. So I don't know. You said that we looked at this earlier. That
Yeah.
is
The
Major X
character
potentially,
looks like a Major
but
X,
fat
kid Major X,
kid Major
you
X.
know? Got little Molten Boy, Stone Girl. I don't know what that guy is in the middle.
And then you
The
always have like a Storm figure back there.
stormy looking girl.
I feel like isn't
And
Storm like that a couple like in the Ultimate thing? It's Storm's there
yeah.
in the same exact spot doing this thing.
Listen, and we sound like
You
we're
have
kind
your
of shitting on
Storm.
this, but like I really like Jim McKay and Diaz is a
I
good
like it.
artist.
Listen,
So this is the best X-Men book in my mind.
this is the best X-Men book. That's it. This is the only X-Men book. I don't feel like Uncanny. I know you said this week was fine. This week issue came out was fine. I don't have any idea that X-Men book, which is that X-Men team is in Amazing Spider-Man. The last issue of Amazing Spider-Man was a great X-Men issue because Amazing Spider-Man was just kind of crapping around in his pajamas in his like living
Yeah.
room. Sad. If I want to see
Yeah.
that, I would just look at my cell phone on Friday night. Oh,
Hey, sad
I'm
Mark.
just
Sad
saying.
dad.
I'm just saying. Like, you got to give me something. All right, you got to give me something. So this again, I just want things. And this looked like you said there is a Pacheco. I remember it was a double spread. I think I have the cover. It was a shiny cover. Yeah,
They
there
even
was a
made a Dynamic
Pacheco.
Forces. Yeah. Dynamic Forces, I think, even had a variant for it. But it was like
Yeah,
it looked like an X-Men team. I think they're new villains. And I just remember the one guy looking like Fat Sabretooth. Like I
yeah,
just
it
like a,
does. It does look like that, you know. And look, I want that. You know, I want Fat Sabretooth. Um,
and
now
these
if I
guys look
if
more bad than future X-Men.
I
They
just
don't,
feel like this is Gambit. I just feel like with those black eyes, that's Gambit, but it's
yeah.
not. I don't think so. But like, and what's this? Like, is that like some type of black hole thingy?
It looks like a, yeah. Is it something that Does he make black holes? Does the black holes help him jump from the future till now?
Look,
Is that part of his costume or is it standing behind him? There we go. Is that
you just use it. You just look. I feel like this is the proper ad. It's a great ad. Made the all different. Here's May. I don't know what it is. Great. That's a good tease. Also, it helps then Ryan Stegman either possibly design them. We like Neto Diaz as the ongoing artist. He's the B artist, but I don't
Mhm.
know how many Stegman has done
Is
in
he?
issues.
I don't know. I
He
feel
might be
like
the A
maybe he's not the
artist.
B artist anymore.
I don't know how it all works now. I don't know how it all works. I feel like Marquez is coming back and doing issue like 16 and 17. I think I saw solicits for that. He's doing two
Of
issues coming
Uncanny.
out soon of Uncanny. Yeah, but I don't feel like I have a team. I don't feel like I have a feel for that team. I don't feel like I know what that is just yet. So I feel like this team, the team that's not this team, but with with Quentin Quire and I feel like I know all of those characters and I like that Cyclops
Yes.
especially. So
That Cyclops is bringing it.
yeah, so Marvel gets funny with April Fool's Day covers. The only ones I really liked. Actually, I didn't mind that one, the beach one. That was kind of funny.
Who drew
Of
that
the
one?
ones I pulled.
Looks
I
like
don't
Amanda
I don't
Connor from
remember.
here. Looks like an Amanda
Yeah,
Connor style cover. I don't know if it's her or not.
yeah, it's the same coloring as like the Jeff Darrow covers, but I'm not sure. But this was the Chad Harden.
That's cool. Chad Harden, who has worked with Palmiotti and Connor a lot. That's kind of funny. Small
Yeah, yeah.
coincidence.
So that
Yeah,
shrunk
it's
a
cool.
little bit. So pulled a little bit, but that's cool. Hey, listen, you're doing a double, a two side, or maybe
Yeah,
it's, yeah, I guess it's
right.
just small.
It's a double-sided cover.
That's
That was
fine.
once four images. They squeezed it down into two. That's good.
Yeah, that's
And of
good. I'll
course,
take it.
you love this Marvel stamps.
Yeah, that's great. And that's David Lopez. Chad Harden, David Lopez. Very nice. Very nice. That's fine. 71. That I gotta look that up. Uh-oh. Who
Oh,
I gotta see who was 71. Hmm. All right, well I'll put that in.
yeah, put
I'm
that in.
curious but I want to see
Oh,
who that is. Maybe it's
I'll,
Rom.
I'll, I'll pretend to react to it. Oh, look at that. Neat.
Maybe it's someone that,
It'd be funny if it was Rom, like they can't use him, so
yeah,
throw in Deadpool.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Uh, but it got some figure news, Batman 89. This is the McFarlane ones. These I just kind of put in because they're kind of just boring. They're kind of fine. They're not great. I feel like the better deluxe one, like Mayfex or some of the slightly better ones. Like I don't like this. I think it looks really bad. I know it looks correct, but
Right.
I thought that was boring, more boring. It's correct. It's just that design's so boring. So boring. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of? You know what's funny is that a long time ago, this was, I don't know, 80, 99 maybe. I'm not sure. When did Batman Begins come out? 92, that I don't know.
2004?
But if you remember, I had like was it Earthlink or GeoCities? I had a GeoCities like blog called Pop Culture Junkie, and I think it's
Did
still
you?
out there. I think it might still be out there. The first one
On
was
the Internet
I read
Archive?
about Batman Begins, and then they had the first picture show up, and it was him with that like just like metal suit. I'm like, why are you doing that? Because we almost had, remember at this time we almost had the Darren Aronofsky very like boiled down, probably closer to what Matt Reeves is doing right now. We had super boiled down. Aronofsky wrote it. I think the scripts and treatments are still kind of around
Aronofsky's
for that.
that's like well, that's the one. He's like a car mechanic or works for Big Al. Out, Big Al like
That's
runs a
right.
mechanic shop, and like
Well,
Bruce
what's
Wayne's
funny
working
about
for him. He's
that is that
poor.
now like absolute Batman is that
Yeah, he's
kind
poor.
of, right? He's poor and he works for,
Joker's isn't Joker like a pimp? There's a bunch
I
of
don't
weird
know.
stuff in that. I just heard
Yeah,
like outlines of it. It's
it's a
very
weird
weird.
pitch, but they dropped it. They dropped that. They
So
didn't want to do that.
the thing about Batman Begins is before Smallville came out, Smallville might have come out in 2002, I feel like it was a year or two before I met Kathy. And before they did Smallville, they were talking about a Batman TV series for CW where he goes around the world learning how to become Batman. And
Mhm.
that idea sounded great. But Michael Uslan I think he put a stop to it because he's like, no, Batman's a movie character, not a TV character. And then they announced Smallville in its stead. And I'm like, meh. You know,
Yeah, it was.
mind
I'm
you,
trying to think who was it. Tim McCandles is in my brain for that. I'm trying to think.
what for
He
the
did some.
Batman, for the Bruce Wayne TV
Yeah,
show,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then once Smallville was a hit, they were gonna do a Wonder Woman series that was similar. And who drew what's her name? Tried out for it. I think she was like second place to get it, but then they ended up not doing the show. Who's the girl artist from Australia? Her name, she just did Teen Titans. She just did Titans like last year.
I don't know. It's not coming to me.
She's the one who always draws like the 100 Wonder Womans, all the different Wonder Womans. Then she did a whole bunch of different.
Nicola Scott.
Yes, she was up for it. There's a picture of her in her own like homemade Wonder Woman costume up online.
Oh,
You
really?
can find, but yeah, she was
As
second
an
place
actress?
as an actress. She was second place to play Wonder Woman on
What
the
the heck? I don't
Smallville
think I knew
Wonder
that at
Woman
all.
on a Wonder Woman
Jeez.
style, Smallville style Wonder Woman show. Yeah, but the show
Wow.
ended up not happening.
Hmm. That's crazy. I don't think I knew that at
It is,
all.
it is crazy.
And then
I think she had
then
to like,
you can see the what was the one that then you had the the David E.
oh,
Kelly one,
Palicki,
right?
yeah, the
Yeah.
Palicki one.
Yeah.
Um,
Which had
you
a rough
can,
costume. You can
you know
find
what
it. I
they
think it's on YouTube.
she has two different costumes in that because it was a rough pants one, which nobody liked, and then she wears a more traditional one that people did like. That's a weird show. I did watch that pilot. I think what's the name cameos in it briefly. Pedro Pascal. So that's the first Wonder
Oh, that's
Woman
weird. That's right.
project.
Yeah.
That's the first Wonder Woman project he was involved in,
He's
which he
only
totally
in bad
forgot
Wonder
about.
Woman projects.
I know.
He did so many bit parts back then. That's right. He's on like I think 4 or 5 Law and Orders as different characters. He's kind of playing the same character though.
That's
In all
hilarious.
those. Yeah, he's in a bunch of them. So, no, that's weird. Yeah, I'll have to look up that Nicola Scott thing, see if I can. That's interesting. Uh, Here's some. So this was I only put this in because I go on this one. Toy Arc is a pretty good website, and they just have like just toys that comes every week. They have pretty good news. But this is a 3.75 to 4 inch, and this is by who do we say this is by? Joy Toy.
Yeah.
Again, there's so many weird like licenses for things. It's not. It used to be just like, oh, it's a Hasbro or a Mattel or like that's it. But now or Playmates, right? Like here everybody has or can have pieces of licenses or bits of things. But this is 3.75 to 4 inches. Oh, it's not here. They're listed to release in China, Japan, Korea, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and India and United Arab Emirates. So, but you can go on to I guess Chosen Prime and Toy Geek or Big Bad Toy Store and get it as an import, So, but look how crazy this is. This is this big.
That's awesome.
It's a
It's
Star
Star
Wars
Wars GI
3.5.
Joe's figure size. Yeah, that's awesome.
Look at all the thing. And I don't know what storyline we talked about this earlier. I was like, what? Y- I thought this was another. I thought I took a picture of like the wrong figure. No, this is the same figure, just with flipping the heads around. I guess he was in disguise for something or other. I don't know what this is, but pretty cool. But look at all those. Look at all that. That's a lot of stuff. It's a lot
That
of
comes with
stuff.
a
So
lot of stuff. Yeah.
I don't know if he needs that much stuff, but that's fine. I guess that's all his stuff, right? I mean, a wood bat, aluminum bat, cricket bat. It's a lot of stuff. Anyway, that's a goalie, regular goalie, sledgehammer. That's a pretty heavy bag, man. I guess he's pretty cut. It's a toy. To be fair, it's okay. But having sledgehammer in that, sledgehammers are very unwieldy. You have sledgehammer hanging out the top. Anyway, forget it. All right, here we go. Uh,
I'm
this I don't care.
all
I
right.
don't care about Gamerverse at all, but some of these designs are pretty great. You know, uh, this looks more costumey, I guess, because you can see. I guess that's more form fitting. It probably looks great in again in fluid. Those games are supposed to be really really good. I do like that. I don't feel like we got that in we didn't. This is actually kind of reverse continuity, yeah, because I feel like the Batman Spider-Man costume just made regular traditional webbing, right? Is that right?
It
But
did.
it came out the top.
Yes.
It should make
Yes.
this webbing. Makes more sense. This makes more
Yeah.
sense.
Well, the Venom costume can make any color. Remember, it could even like change into human clothes. That was the whole point of it.
Such cheap. What a mess. I hate that. I don't like black costume Spider. I like I like it when he. You know why? Because I came into it like with I guess Craven's Last Hunt, where it's just a costume, just a black costume, man. It has no, in Kraven's Last Hunt, it's just a black costume. It has nothing to do with a symbiote. It has nothing to do with aliens, space. So when I started with Spider-Man, Spider-Man was very ground level. My dad got me Marvel Masterworks Volume 1, um, and I read Kraven's Last Hunt. I had that trade, and then the Spider-Man was Michelini. Okay, Michelini, McFarlane, my brother had those, and then when I started buying them, I might have grabbed one or two of the end one McFarlane one. McFarlane, I think my first McFarlane Spider-Man was Hulk. He punched Hulk and that was a great one. Great one to get, and then went right into Larson. So Larson's kind of my guy,
Yeah.
when it comes to that. And then I would say Larson to Bagley, and then I put McFarlane. McFarlane still will go back to number one, but the era that I was getting it and just getting like fed was Larson Bagley. Um, Anti-Venom suit. I like that they just have two different heads for the eyes. Very nice. And this was a pretty intense Venom. I don't know if that design with that is just a game reverse design, but I really like that. We still don't know. I think all new Venom is. I heard the all new Venom, the new one in the comic books, is like Mary Jane's like dude that she was hanging out with. Who
You
cares
know,
about that?
I don't even know who it is.
We don't know yet because it's coming out in issue 5, and then all the covers are redacted. But the one rumor I saw this week is that it's that dude, Paul. Who cares
Well,
about that guy? What a nightmare! That was a nightmare storyline to be done with.
it
And you're gonna
was.
bring it back? Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah,
Because
not good.
and it's supported because I feel like Jackpot is in issue 5, which is I don't want Mary Jane to have powers. Come on, it's a CW all
No.
over again.
Yeah.
But this is scaled. Like this is a scaled figure, so this figure is not in the main line. And I also like that he is not even really fitting in his own packaging. That's how big he is.
That's
But
a
he can basically kind of
whoops.
carry a Spider-Man. Uh, yeah, pretty cool.
That's cool.
This was a two pack, X-Force two pack, which is the Clayton Crane-ish run.
I like this. I
Um,
like Clayton Crane's run. I'm a big fan of Warpath and X-23.
I like
I
this
like that.
X-23 design. X-23 should just be X-23. She should not be. They have two different heads. They got
Yeah,
Sass
we talked
face
about
head.
this. Nobody should be sharing names
No,
unless you're Green Lantern. You know,
right.
everyone else should be. You're right. Go back. I don't like that she's Wolverine. I like that he's
Yeah.
Warpath. His knives are vibranium. That was when I think Brubaker was writing X-Men. I
Mm.
think Brubaker gave him the vibranium knives first. What was that at? Who drew that? Is that Philip Tan? Tan draw?
Billy Tan.
Billy Tan. That's
Billy
right,
Tan.
Billy Tan. Where's he at?
Ex Top Cow.
He should be doing X-Men right now. He should be the fill-in artist or the B artist on one of those books.
He did what?
If
Shadowland. He was working on Shadowland for
yeah,
with Andy Diggle.
Andy Diggle.
Not great.
It's a weaker run than what we
Yeah.
were getting before. So no, these are cool.
Yeah. I'll
Next,
take it. Do we need two hands? Do you need fisty hands? You could just have
yeah,
the hands
I
with
don't
the knife.
know.
Take the knives out. Like, is it really going to make a difference? You take the knives out, his hands like this. That's the way it always was. That's the way it always was. I don't know. I don't know what the obsession is of having that. Listen, if you're not going to give me like 100 things, just give me one alternate head. That's fine. Give me the like. I don't know. I just, it's fine. And what they don't have a different head for Warpath. Just, just miserable, but they have a different one for anyway. It doesn't matter. You know what? If it's two pack, Tupac. If it's two pack, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just one head for that, that's fine. Whatever.
All
I
right.
think it's expensive though. I think it's like $60, 60, $70.
Yikes.
So anyway,
That's those awesome
uh,
tariffs.
I love this. So this is NECA doing Ghost Brothers, which is again Last Ronin. So Last Ronin, uh, I like that you're. I think this is neat. I think this is. I think they're I guess almost either
I
all the
think
way
it's
translucent or translucent to. I
yeah,
guess they're all. They
enough.
could be. It's a thick translucent.
Yeah. It's like modern day Crystar toys. This
Yeah.
is cool. This is a great callback. Takara, not Hasbro, did a Starscream's Ghost where they just took G1 Starscream and made it like this,
Oh,
like translucent colors. It's awesome.
I
Um,
didn't know they did that. You can it's regular Starscream? It's
yeah,
G1
regular
mold?
G1 Starscream mold. Yeah,
Mm,
only it's translucent plastic, so it's like Starscream's Ghost, which is a great season 3 episode.
yes. Yeah. Hmm. Interesting.
Now you're thinking about it, aren't you? Gotta write that down. Look it up.
Mm.
It was cheap, then it got expensive, then it came down a little bit, but I haven't looked at a price of that thing in years. It
Well, I
came
don't
out
like
like
Starscream's original design though. I think it sucks. I had was it Ramjet? It was purple. Thundercracker?
Skywarp.
Skywarp. I had Skywarp. Had the different like was it helicopter-y wings? Is
That
that
was
what I'm thinking of?
Thrust.
That was
The
oh
red
my
one,
God.
Thrust, right, had the vertical fans
Oh,
on
I
his
had
wings,
Thrust then.
correct?
Thrust. In my brain, I think I thought I had. I don't know,
Skywarp.
but Skywarp. So, and what's really funny is that even in the old cartoons, all of them have different character traits. All of
Yeah,
them, and
very much so.
they're using that in the new Transformers comic, which I think is pretty amazing. You know, they're using all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but no, I dig that this toy looks like that, you know, design. I like that it's its own thing, but I like these little nicks here where it's done well. I think that when I've seen the ones that McFarlane has done and there's too over rendered, yet, oh, we have not seen, neither of us have seen any of those Marvel statue things, correct? In person.
In
I
person,
don't
no.
I don't know where they're supposed to be. They're
I think
50
they're
bucks.
supposed to be at Target, but like I never first off, I never go to Target.
I never got started either, yeah. I
So
don't know. I
these
have
are
a Target
cool,
near me. I just don't, you know, I don't care. Um,
but it's just the three, right? The three ghosts that show up in the story.
yeah, I think there already is a Last Ronin like pretty good figure with a lot of stuff. NECA has one. They have a couple of them. They have two different Last Ronin figures, which are pretty
I
good.
mean
And again,
I mean
I think NECA
technically
does the best job as far as like packaging. I think their packaging with the boxes, they have a nice box art. I feel like they have a really good job. I almost bought the Alpha a few times. The Ultimate Alpha is pretty good, but it's always like 50, 60 bucks. Just waiting for to see it like cheaper than that.
yo.
I'm not spending 60 bucks on that.
No.
But
I
they
guess
have like
I guess
yeah.
technically speaking, you can make a fourth one, you know?
This is
Spoilers.
$100 though. It's $100.
So Playmates has the rights to the turtles, but I guess it's flexible. Because are these statues or toys?
No, I think they're yeah, they got
They
joints.
look like toys. So, but
Yeah.
also Mattel had the rights to do the He-Man Turtles crossover.
Mhm.
So it's very interesting. Whatever, I guess because now Paramount owns Turtles since they bought them from a Laird. I
Mhm.
guess it's more of a
Right.
flexible trademark. I mean, flexible rights thing.
Yeah, the way things are licensed are really interesting. Like we talk about Transformers or Transformers in a few different spaces. Um,
Right.
and they have to have different mobility. Like I think that's what you're thinking too, is the Transformers, if they're by Super 7, they can't transform,
Correct.
even though their name's Transformers, you know, so
Even though
no
they were
transforming.
Transformers. Or if you're Pops, then you do a Marvel character. Originally Pops could only do bobbleheads for Marvel characters.
Mhm.
Like you could do a Marvel statue license, but you can't do a Marvel toy because that's the Hasbro deal.
I see.
So I
Okay.
think I find that I don't think it's like that anymore. But at the first multiple waves of Marvel Pops were all bobbleheads.
Right. Right. Yeah. I don't know. That's news for me, man. That's it. There we go.
That's it. That's all you
Translucent.
got.
That's it. You got
All
any
right.
other?
Well,
Oh wait, did
in
I have
chat,
some other stuff? Oh wait, no, I did have more
yeah,
stuff. That's right.
yeah,
I
because
added stuff after. Part
yes, we were
two, news
talking,
part two. Here we go. Cancellations, baby. Uh,
man.
all
So,
new, all
Mar
different X-Men. The what From the Ashes? So From the Ashes is essentially a failure, right?
yes, it
NYX
is,
is canceled. X-Force is canceled. So screw you, Tom Brevoort.
and
You know what I mean?
probably
You're
X Factor. No, he came in and did not do a good job.
He
He
did not
came
do a
in
good job. He didn't do better than Jordan White, and Jordan White, he did a worse job than Jordan White, I would say. And also, what's coming out? So we think that listen, there's a certain slate. All right, this is what's difficult is that what did they? So they dropped these three. What did they announce? They announced an Emma Frost series. I
Emma
don't want
Frost
an Emma
series
Frost series. I don't. No. I'm okay.
because we have
No,
her hit in Exceptional X-Men, so it's like a double dip.
Exceptional X-Men should be canceled. That's a nightmare. That book is
Yeah,
unreadable.
but X Force and X Factor are pretty good. Like I enjoyed
X
both those
Force is
books.
excellent. X Force is excellent. X Factor, I don't like the concept of it. and I just don't. It doesn't hold for me, so
Oh,
I
I
don't
like it
care.
because it's just so different. It's sell out X-Men.
Yeah, but
it's a
to me,
little too
that's
close to parody.
ecstatics. That to me, that's
It's a
ecstatics. Like excellent.
well, Ecstatics doesn't work either. That's why that book always gets canceled.
That's true.
Um,
That's true.
yeah. So, but like, so those are canceled. Boom,
X Force
done.
NYX X.
NYX, which like I think the last issue of it like just brought back like the blonde-haired girl from the first NYX run.
Mhm.
Remember the Middleton cover? The girl's got
Right.
the pacifier. That was a weird series, but that's where we got X-23.
That's right. It's the only thing that came
Joshua
out of that was
Middleton.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
Jeffrey Thorne's pretty sad about it. Like he talks about, I was pretty burnt out on comics fandom after Green Lantern because everyone was mean. And then because this Green Lantern run's okay, but everyone's really mean to him. So I get that. And he comes over here and he got some good feedback and then is canceled.
right.
So
All
that's
right.
a bummer.
This is
So
bigger news for us because
oh,
we can't have a week go by without talking about Rob Liefeld. So
correct.
Youngblood, it's been stated it's probably coming out in October. October is a solid comic book month. The 2 months preceding it, September and August, are typically lighter months. Maybe kids going back to school, parents spend a lot of money, or they're still on vacations in August. But October has always been a strong month. That's when they launched the Absolute books. So they'll probably launch this around the time of the New York Comic Con. Maybe he'll be there with some exclusive cover. He's going to promote the hell out of this book. But on Whatnot the other night, he had said he's going to have a Whatnot exclusive Youngblood #1 that's going to come out in April, which is the 33rd anniversary of Youngblood. So I think that's pretty awesome. Like to do this book that the rest of the world won't get till October. That's insane. He's got this book done. So I think it's pretty cool that we're gonna get that on Whatnot in a couple months.
We're gonna get Youngblood 1 that comes out in October on Whatnot early.
Yes,
Oh my God,
yes.
what?
He's he's doing. I don't know how many he's doing. Probably not many. We're probably talking Last Blood numbers here.
Hmm,
So probably, but yeah. So he's gonna do that,
that's
and then the
crazy.
real launch will be in October. It is crazy. It is
I'll buy
absolutely
that.
crazy.
I'll buy that for $1. You can buy it. You owe me
I'll
money.
buy it. I
So
do.
there you go. There you
Let's
go.
just preface that I don't really owe him money. He bought a book that I haven't got yet. I'm not borrowing
Right.
money from my fellow adult. He ordered two to save us on shipping.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's funny.
And
That's funny.
funny enough, it's the Youngblood Vault comic, the
Right.
book that's
Exactly.
all the original
I'm
art.
gonna
So it's like
actually that's a pretty good trade. So I'll be trading you dollar for dollar,
right, right.
if that's okay. Because again, I'm not gonna screw you on trade. We'll just trade dollar for dollar, young blood for young blood stuff.
That's
That's
right.
good.
Blood for
That makes
blood.
sense.
It does make sense.
Maybe I'll buy that 15 by 7. I forget what size the young blood thing he has on Whatnot. So maybe with next time you do your Whatnot purchases, which is kind of like almost biweekly at this point, I think. Yeah, maybe I'll have to get that young blood print, which is
I
similar to
know, I
this.
know, I know. He put that print as an ad in the back of Last Blood Final Stand #1.
Oh, did you get that yet?
No, no, there's a thing,
There's a
but
thing.
I should get it Monday or Tuesday. So
Shipping.
yeah, I know. Post office.
Oh,
Ugh.
I have two. So I have two things we'll talk about next week, but I have things that are in the mail right now. I have one coming from England. I have a Valor
Bloody,
Summer Special
bloody
89,
hell.
which has a John Buscema uh, Conan pinup, which I believe was in a Savage Sword of Conan, right? With Red Sonja, but it's drawn by Buscema and Frank Thorne. So that's awesome. But it's colored, and it's colored in like uh these flats that whoever in England's doing it, not Paul Neary or I don't know. I don't know who did it, right? Uncredited, but they have some of this special has a bunch of posters in it and the spread poster. So I'm getting it. It's Valor, which was that Valor had Doctor Strange, Conan, Thor, I think. Was one of their weekly newspapers. But they did a color special and they had like these other reprints in there. So that was like super cheap. That was like I think 8.99. I think my shipping is $12, so that's like $20, right?
Uh,
I'm going to keep the one for I think our review of something. I'm going to keep one that when I get that. But I also have a Killraven print that I saw It's a Joe Jusko Killraven from 2015. I don't know what it's
Oh,
from. I don't know.
huh.
Did he do another card set around that time or
I
something?
can almost picture it in my head. I'll have to check my Marvel Masterpieces to see if he did. I feel like he did a Kill Raven card at one point.
Yeah, I don't know, but it said 2015 inside, and I think it could be from,
Didn't they?
a lot of these people did. There was a Kickstarter, there was just a Kickstarter, so I feel like this person just took apart the book and is selling them, which happens. That's cool.
Did
Um,
they do an oversized card series or something? I feel like that's
there's an
friggin'
XL,
familiar.
yes, but there's no scans of it, and you can see there. Yeah, there's an XL, but I think that was newer. I think that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was like 22. So I feel like he has a set that we don't know about in 16, and he has a set that came out in 22. And I'm not sure on his Kickstarter that he did recently if it has, I'm not sure what it has. I'm not sure if it has that too. I think it just had the 99 masterpiece. I think it just had the initial masterpieces and then some sketch stuff. I don't know. There was a recent printing of that book, but I think everywhere it sold out. I think it's gone now. Where
All
they
right.
had the Kickstarter, then he put out one version of that. So
All right.
that's it.
Can
Am I
you
missing this?
Yeah, yeah, let's go through a couple other things here to wrap this up quickly.
Oh
Can
yeah.
you show the
I
other
don't know where I put
pictures on the that I sent you in chat?
Whoa. Timelines,
So
baby.
this is neat. Um, Back in the early 2000s when IDW first got the license for Transformers, they wanted to do this series called Evolutions, where every miniseries was like a what if. So the first one they did was Hearts of Steel, like a steampunk, what if the Transformers landed in the 1800s? So now, 20 years later, Hasbro decides to make toys of these characters, um, which is an awesome move. I know a lot of third-party companies that made toys of these, but like these are official Hasbro toys. So it's like Optimus Prime is like like a steam engine for a locomotive. Starscream is this really crazy looking jet. Um, what else you got? So show the next picture. Do you have it?
I'm trying to get to oh,
Okay. Picture's not as big as I thought it was.
that's what she said.
I knew it. I had to wait for it.
I'll get it. I'll get it bigger. Hang on one second. Let me
So,
get a pill.
so this comic I think was originally written by Chuck. They went to Ted McKeever first, and Ted McKeever's like, oh, if you're going to do Transformers before cars, we should make them all out of trees and rocks and dirt. And Hasbro IDW went, thanks, Ted McKeever, but we're going to do this instead. So they got
Wait,
like Chuck Dixon and Guido Guidi. Guido Guidi
Ted
is like one of the best
McKeever.
Transformer artists. Yeah, I know. Or somebody we want to talk about.
Did
This is
they
one of the
make
variant
this or they didn't
covers.
make this?
This comic totally got made. 3 issues. It's really good.
Right, right. Did
Um,
they make this toy or did they think
yes,
about?
they're
Did they really?
they're they're making Hasbro's currently doing all these toys right now. It's a new line.
Holy crap.
Yeah, because there's so much cool stuff back in the day. Just keep going back. There's so many characters they never made toys of. So Bumblebee has a little steam engine that could. These are all Guido Guidi designs, and I liked it. Like the second train is like could also be acts like Prime's trailer. I had the third party
Uh,
toy of this back in the day, but I sold it because third party toys back then they were real. They looked beautiful, but they were very fragile. They're very easy to break. I never broke any of mine. Actually, I still have one third party toy. Yeah, these are some of the ones. Megatron's a
oh,
cannon. There's little Bumblebee. There's Starscream. That's like a weird steampunk jet.
yeah, that's
So I
actually
think
a
these
better.
are
I never liked Megatron as like a tank. I never liked that. But this is more, this is closer to like, because I just think that needs the gun, right? So this is actually kind of works. This is kind of like this is a tank gun, like
yeah.
basically.
If
I think.
anything, it's all
Right.
steampunk Galvatron.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah. 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 I like that. I think that's really good. I will take it.
Yeah, it's really neat. Keep doing that stuff. This cover the Void Revivals I really liked because it's the first appearance of Wreck-Gar we've seen in the Energon universe. I love Wreck-Gar. Um, I don't know who's this Connor Hughes. I guess is drawing the issue. That's the first issue not drawn by the regular artist,
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
right?
Yeah.
I'll have to look up Connor Hughes, see what his art style looks like.
I feel like this variant cover, I feel like these design covers are they need to do eventually just do like an art of. They have
Is
so
it
many covers.
who did this cover? Is it EJ Sue?
I
It
don't know.
looks like
There's some
EJ
scribbles
Sue.
down there, but I don't know. I don't know. Scribbles down there. I mean, it's meant to look like the patent, right? It's like that's if you ever see, you can actually there was a Trenton punk rock punk rock show. What's it called?
I,
Punk rock flea
I
market.
yeah, I remember them.
And then this one guy just sold like photocopies on parchment paper of patents. It's kind of cool. It was
That's
like an
neat.
Optimus Prime patent, and I was like, oh, like I'm sure I could probably find it and then print it on parchment paper. I'm sure I
Yeah,
could
I'm sure
find,
you could
but
do that.
this was pretty cool though. Yeah, he had a lot. He had a ton of stuff. He had like a Monopoly. He had like patents of Monopoly board. So it was, but a lot of Transformers, a lot of Star Wars stuff. And I was like, geez. And he had this like it was almost like an apothecary like cabinet, and he just had the drawers. So even what he was selling like was inside was like archaic parchment inside of this like apothecary like table and thing. It was kind of crazy. But yeah, I wish I had that. But yeah, I just think they need to do like a whole line because this is the same guy whoever did this with ZJ Sue. There's a ton of these. They're on multiple printings of like I think it's probably Transformers number one, eighth printing, 10th printing, who knows?
Right.
But there's a lot of these that I've seen. So to get a collection
Here, here
together.
here's where I go in deep. Want to hear my fan canon theory about Wreck-Gar?
Hmm.
To me, I think Wreck-Gar is one of the original 13 Transformers. Because one, he brought Ultra Magnus back to life. Two, he has a planet full of other Wreck-Gars. Like, why is he there? Was he like thrown out of the original 13? Like, if you know your Transformers
Oh,
lore,
I
this
see.
works out really good.
Right, right, right.
And the best case scenario, or the best proof, he's got a mustache and goatee. Like, you got to be old to have that. Just
So
funny. And
funny.
he's so old. He's such an old Transformer. That's why he's like insane.
He
So,
is insane. Yeah, he is insane. He was probably, but yeah, you're right. He probably was there. Maybe his like memory chip got damaged, and then he's on a planet of junk, and then he just made other
just made a whole
Transformers.
race, and they all have
Right,
personalities. Like they all have soul, like
right.
sparks.
But all they do is watch TV.
You
They
watch
talk
TV?
TV.
I watch TV. Yeah, they talk TV. I love it. And now the news. Don't touch that dial. We love it. Um,
I'm in the mood. I'm always in the mood to watch Transformers movie. Always.
it's infinitely watchable. All right, a couple of the news. They announced Ghost Machine. Jeff Johns' company is doing a new book called The First Ghost. It's a story in which the new president moves into the White House and there's a ghost there. I don't know if it's a
Hmm.
former president. I don't think they got into that. So what's cool about this book is one, it's drawn by Gene Ha. So it's going to be a beautiful looking book. But two, Brad Meltzer is co-writing it. So this stuff
Hmm.
is going to be crazy, super accurate
Oh,
details.
that's right. I forgot
Brad
there's
Meltzer
extra
is a
people in Ghost Machine that are like media people that are
yeah,
probably like, I forgot Brad Meltzer is in Ghost Machine technically
technically, yeah.
in real
He
life.
he is. I mean, we first heard of him because he took over Green Arrow after Kevin Smith, a job that nobody wanted to do, and
Right.
it was great. And then he does a Just League run, which is really good. Which actually ties in because he actually does a crossover with Jeff Johns that brings back the adult Legion of Superheroes. Wasn't that in that crossover with
Yeah, he did.
JSA?
Well, he did the Identity Crisis he's most famous for.
I was getting to that next. Identity Crisis is obviously
Oh,
his biggest
was that
DC
after?
book.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know if that was before or after his Just League run.
I think it was
But
before.
anyway, like he has a ton of novels. He really digs into the history, real mysteries. He has had several TV shows on like History Channel digging into like, you know, uh just like all the mysteries and like George Washington's secret army and old codes and who killed who. So that'll be a really good book. It'll be a super accurate book.
And
Next on the list, I
is that
what's
one
up?
that's connecting to what? That's connecting to Redcoat, connecting to Geiger
Yes, it's
for
actually
that one.
like Geiger takes place in the future. Redcoat takes
Junkyard Joe.
place in the past for the most part. Junkyard Joe takes place in the 60s, but right now Junkyard Joe has showed up in Geiger. Redcoat
Hmm.
is in Geiger's timeline, but he's only been like cameoed in another story in that time. And the first Ghost takes place today, in today's world.
Hmm.
So, which
Okay.
means he's probably still around in like all of this stories will probably culminate in the Geiger future storyline.
Right, right, right.
But they're slowly building to that. And these books are getting better. I think they're getting better. I read Geiger last week and it was like a really good issue because
Yeah,
Junkyard Joe's in it now.
yeah. Well, I love Junkyard Joe. I think the Junkyard Joe series was. I think concept was better than the actual series, but I do like the concept a lot, and I think
Um,
you know
and they
I want
introduced
I
a new
want that.
female character who's kind of like has similar powers to Geiger. I think her name's like Ash Arden, which I immediately think of like Dale Arden, That's just a good fictional character name, Ash Arden. Next up, I wrote that Jeremy Adams signs the DC exclusive, which
Yeah.
sucks for us because we really like his Flash Gordon run. Speaking of Dale Arden,
Yeah.
um, right? That's her name, right? Dale Arden.
Yep.
Okay, just double checking that as I'm blathering on. I'm kind of upset about that, but like his DC work is so strong. I get it. DC should lock him up.
Yeah, you gotta get insurance, bro. You gotta get insurance. Oh
I don't know
man,
if
I
he even
wonder.
needs insurance. So if you're going to lock him up, they have a bigger thing for him. I think he'll eventually do Superman
Mhm,
because there's a Superman hole opening up. Like I don't know how long Joshua Williamson's going to write Superman, but I
mhm.
feel like we just got new Aquaman one, Green Lantern one. We're probably going to get a new Flash one. We're getting a new Batman one. I feel like new Superman's going to come along soon. I don't know what that's going
Right.
to be. I don't know if it's going to be similar to the movie or if it's just, or I could be totally wrong. Joshua Williamson could have a long game, but I feel like he
Yeah, I
doesn't.
don't know. Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
not
either.
sure
Just a thought.
because I don't know how much time he has to take on with GI Joe. Like I'm not sure how much time that takes. Hmm.
And we don't know if he's going to be the one to take over Transformers or not. We kind of hope not, and that's not a slight against him. I just want a different feel for that book than his GI Joe books.
Right.
But he also might be the one who eventually writes the GI Joe Transformers crossover. That
Right.
hasn't been
Right.
announced, but it's an eventuality. It's a universe where they're
Yeah.
so intertwined, you can't not have that happen.
And Void Rivals, and have
Yeah.
everything together. Mm.
Um, Other cancellations we didn't talk about. Shazam's getting canceled. Boo. I kind of like Shazam. Mark Waid started off the
Yeah.
series, and then it
I think
went
it
to
never got. I think the cover, unfortunately, I think Gleb Melnikov should have been drawing it. I feel like the most recent covers with Gleb Melnikov drawing it, if that was inside, I think people would be curious about it. I feel like that book kind of came out. It didn't look. I think if you're going to do Shazam, you should do it that he looks like this, like kind of like doughy kid. I think the way Gleb Melnikov draws it, especially like the last issue, like like with the big head and stuff, with the
Mhm.
Jay Leno chin almost. I feel like you should do that. I feel like Wade and Mora just were like, let's see, we're real popular on World's Finest. Let's just I like Shazam. I want to write a couple Shazam stories, but I feel like he was unceremoniously out. Wade was unceremoniously just gone one day. It was like one, two, three, I'm out. He did one story. I don't remember. Like
I feel like he did at least I feel like he did at least 10
he did
issues. 10
two.
or 12.
Yeah, maybe two or 12, like two or three, but it's just like I think it's two trades and it went to somebody else. And
Yeah,
then Morris
Josie
stayed
Campbell.
on the covers, which I think is
Right.
technically a bad idea. I feel like you need the new era it. They love Dan
I'm a
Moore over there
couple
though.
I am a couple issues behind, but the first couple issues Josie Campbell wrote, I liked because she's the lead writer for the Superman My Adventures with Superman cartoon.
Mm.
So, she knows what she's doing. I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
it'll get relaunched. I mean, maybe Jeremy Adams do Shazam. Who knows? But like
I
I
think
like to see
yeah,
I don't know. Or maybe Shazam just needs a break. He's just another character that can't unless you're doing stuff really inventive and creative.
right. Power Girl's canceled too. Right, was it Power Girl?
Yeah, Power Girl's on the chopping block. And Two-Face, which I didn't
What's funny
which
is
is a
when I put Two-Face 3 in, this is kind of
yeah.
like premature because I put Two-Face 3 and I was like, man, I can't believe this book's going to go for a long time. I think it's so great. And when I went on to, I think it was Previews World, and I got the description, I was editing and dropping the elements in to the video.
Yeah.
It said 3 of 6. And I'm like,
Yeah, surprise.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
So I'm
it's
just
another
like,
surprise miniseries. I think you're right. I think it was supposed to be ongoing, and then the sales weren't there, and they're like, surprise
but they just tell Chris Moore
miniseries.
to not say anything. And then like I think he does say something, in the press release. Like he's like, yeah, well, at least I got to do it. I did the only Two-Face book by itself, at least it happened for
Yeah,
me.
Power Girl
But
ending's kind of a surprise, but I guess they want to make room for the Supergirl. Like maybe they don't want them eating each other.
there's not enough dollars. Yeah, I feel like Poison Ivy, I'm just surprised there's a Poison Ivy and a Harley Quinn, but I feel like Poison Ivy just being consistent has not been canceled. I feel like there's almost three Harley Quinn relaunches since Poison Ivy came out in 30 issues. There might be
I feel
three. At least two,
At least two.
because you had
You're
the
right.
Riley Rossimo that ended, which was he was a bad choice from the start. Like it was not the right feel. I like Riley
No,
Rossimo, but he's doing exactly what he should be doing. Like doing like
the moon is
where did
following
he
us.
start?
Yeah,
He started where? Riley Rossimo started in
at Image,
Proof.
right? Oh, Proof.
Yeah.
You're right. He did Proof first, and then he did that Spencer book that kind of read like Nemesis.
Hmm. Right.
What the hell is that called? That was real popular for a minute.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Milligan was big on that book. No,
But
no
yeah,
research, people.
no, but I feel like so Riley Rossman's doing the right thing. But yeah, I feel like it's funny that they just have to kind of keep moving the pieces around. They only have so much. It's funny, I feel like it's almost like it's like when they only have so many slots and slots. They only have so many slots
Yeah.
for like the newsstand. It's not really that way, but it kind of is. It feels like if
Oh,
we're going to do, you know, a Supergirl book, we better make way for it. There's not enough readership for both, you know. So,
yeah. You know, it's funny. I'd forgotten about Superman Unlimited for a minute there. You bring it up, Dan Slott.
man, slot.
Dan Slott.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, I think with Superman coming out, I feel like that there is a slot. There's a slot for an extra Superman book. Maybe. I don't know. I just wish it wasn't called Unlimited. I wish it was
I
called
know.
something else. I
Bad name.
think bad name.
What
But
do we came up with the solution. What did we call it? A legacy.
I think
Superman
Man of
Legacy.
Steel. Superman Legacy. That's right.
Yeah, Man of Steel was always like the least best Superman comic back in the day. I always felt like it was the one that
Man of
got the least
Tomorrow.
attention.
Man of Tomorrow
I
was the
like Man of
worst.
Tomorrow.
Mm.
That was Kiesel and Gromit though. It's like the Superboy team.
What? That
Yeah,
was Paul Ryan.
but they only got like an issue every 3 months. That was a quarterly book.
Right, because that was a fifth. It was a fifth
It was a
issue.
fifth
It
week
was a
book.
fifth week.
Yeah, they wanted to keep Superman weekly.
So yeah,
All right, let's see what else I
52,
got here.
52
Uh,
weeks.
Harley Quinn Elvira crossover comic,
Oh
which
yeah.
I normally wouldn't care about, but I think it's Connor and Palmiotti doing it, so
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
weird.
I know at least the cover. I don't know if she's doing interiors, but they can kind of do whatever. Palmiotti reviewed something on Instagram this week where he reviewed the new Born Again trade, and he was like it just did like a video review. It was like a minute long. It's pretty fun actually.
Yeah. Does he like it?
But no, that would be fun. Yeah, that would be good. I would like that. Palmy because they're both writing it. That doesn't say who's drawing it. Maybe she is drawing it. Do that.
So, um, so they talk about Imperial a little bit this week, the new Jonathan Hickman book, and the way they advertise it, it's like it's like House of X and his ultimate narration. It's better than those two combined or something. I'm like, do you have to advertise your book by saying it's better than what he's written before, or like
Yes.
it's as good as the two best things ever? I know it's just it's an advertising trope, but Mark Miller comes
Well, I
back to
think
Marvel.
that's
It's
I know, but the problem is that like he's a concept person, so they're just like you're gonna love the concept. He might leave. You know what I mean? They're almost saying like they should be. It should just say he swears he's staying. That's what it should say.
he well, but
We
here's the
swear
thing.
he's staying. We contracted him. He can't leave.
Yeah, but
They give him too much freedom.
if he stays, it always gets weak. Like his concepts and beginnings have always been strong and good. And then he either leaves or it gets too convoluted and he starts getting too experimental to the point where it doesn't make sense. And he's done that
Right.
on every book he's been on.
Right. Right. Yeah, he's got to leave. Like, because when is I think FF gets worse right after Johnny dies immediately. Like it gets
Right.
worse right away.
And his Avengers run is really solid, gets a little weird, and then it goes into Secret War, right?
When it went into Infinity, it worked. Infinity
Yes.
works. I think
Yeah,
Infinity
right. I
works.
remember that.
You know what's a weird omnibus? They made an Infinity omnibus and it was like Infinity Gauntlet and then lead up issues to Infinity and Infinity. And
That's
I
a
was like,
weird
why?
omnibus.
It's a weird omnibus. Yeah, it's really weird. They did a Secret Wars omnibus and then they did a Secret Wars Battle World omnibus, which is worse, which is even worse. Because the Secret Wars omnibus, they have a couple tie-in issues of New Avengers and Avengers, and then Secret Wars, the new Hickman Secret Wars. There's no chapter breaks. There's nothing. So
Ugh,
Secret Wars is one full thing. So
I
you
hate
have
that.
like Lionel Francis Hugh drawing something, and it's like it's Assad Ribic drawing. You're like, so you're just getting a little confused. I don't know if there was a fill-in of. I think there was a one shot or something. They have that in the middle, but there were so many miniseries for Battle World. and I want to say there's two omnibuses coming. I think that was Battle World 1. But you have all these miniseries, and they're complete miniseries, but at least put in on the first chapter because this is when they was just they were obsessed with title pages. So they would have a title page, and then they would just have either a recap and then the team. So there's no story in the team. There's no story, and that kind of comes from, I guess, Bendis, right? Like the story of of that. That's why I think it's funny. Like TV shows don't really have. They may have names of stories, and we see that more so when we're streaming and stuff. But like Severance has, I almost don't want the title on that. I almost feel like the title for a streaming show should be the end, because there was a high potential this week where I think that they said this the what the story was. I'm like, I think I kind of know the answer. Like I
Yeah.
kind of know like what it was in the title. I'm like, you're being clever, but I'm smarter than
Than the average
most,
bear. Than the average
maybe
bear in your house.
than the
Bear the
average bear in
dog.
the house. That's right. I
Um,
am smarter than Bear the dog, I think,
so
at
I hope
least.
I hope Imperial's good. I think it's got like a Nova helmet smashed on the cover. I don't like don't threaten Dick Ryder. Don't threaten
Dick
Dick
Rider,
Ryder. Um,
Rick Rider.
but this is his Legion, right? This is some of
Yeah,
his Legion ideas he's bringing to Marvel. So hopefully we'll see. I mean, the Imperial Guard is literally Cockrum's, archetype Legion characters. So that's exciting.
but
We hope it's exciting. I know it'll start off good. Who's drawing that? Did they say?
no. Yep. Again, Marvel's very bad with press releases. Press releases are just they're rough. They're rough with it. They're rough with it. I think where this new seed is, I think no matter what I do at this late, it's all very noir. We do noir mark.
We had talked about the Emma Frost new book. Other books they announced was like Gwenpool,
Bah.
but I don't know if it's Gwen Stacy as Gwenpool. It's kind of a weird looking thing. Like or Spider Gwen, Gwenpool. I don't know. And there's a new Spider Girl comic. It's the Spider Girl who's currently in Spider Boy. It's just too much. I I hate the idea of flooding the market with books that I don't know if people want them or not.
Look, the Deadpool book, and I think it's funny because I think Spider Boy has Deadpool in it this week or next week or somewhere, solicitation, and they have Deadpool, but the new Deadpool is a girl Deadpool, but it's not Lady Pool. Like, so it's like it's a
Is it
new.
is it is it his daughter?
Don't know. I don't know. I
All
can't
right.
think about it. Like, I don't know if they're carrying that storyline, the Duggan storyline. I don't know. Like, that's what I mean is that it's too much. It's too much,
Um,
and then you're gonna have
it's
a
too much. I did see that Bad Idea got in with Lunar. Bad Idea is a comic company. Some of their comics look great. I was like, when we get in Baltimore, they were handing out Planet Death Zero, and it looked like a really good comic. So they were about to sign with Diamond, and then Diamond's issues happened, so they just signed with Lunar, and they haven't been distributed by anyone. I think they've just been self-distributing to
mm,
comic stores themselves. So they're doing a new, I guess, a version of Planet Death Zero, and there's a 1 in 500 Joe Quesada cover, which is like crazy. Like who is going to order 500 copies of Planet Death Zero?
right. I don't
It's a
understand it,
nice
but
looking,
see, if you go into Midtown, because I'm trying to find a good spot for my like when I put in the drops for reviews day, Midtown literally has the incentive books like day one, and they're like
right?
$100. Like day one, they're like $90, and I'm like, God. And those would be the only people that probably get most of those. Like they might get all of them. They might get all of them because of how hundreds of copies that they may sell through their website or how they get that
You
stuff.
know, it's interesting you bring them up because the rumor is that Midtown, when DC decided they were no longer wanted to work through Diamond, they used Lunar and UCS, and then people did digging. They found out Lunar is part of was it Half Price Trades or whatever they have a mother
Yeah,
company.
Inside Comics Trades or
Inside,
whatever.
yeah, in
Inside
stock
Stock
trades, right, right,
Trades.
right. And UCS people found out was Midtown. So other comic companies, comic stores didn't want to order their stuff from other comic stores. Like it was kind of like unfair.
Mhm. Right.
So, but anyway, that became the thing. Lunar became a bigger distributor. But now the room and Midtown stopped. Midtown stopped doing it. But they never fully stopped doing it because Marvel does their subscriptions and the books they give to the professionals. They're free. What do you call them?
Comps.
I just dropped. Yeah, they're comps. They
Mhm.
Midtown does the comps for the creatives at Marvel. So the rumor is UCS might start building back up again. especially for, and this is good for all the little people. I think that's what they're trying to go for, is all the little people that Diamond's leaving out in the cold if they fail. It's the people like Bad Idea. It's the people like
Antarctic Press. Where's Antarctic Press
Antarctic
going?
Press. I know he can't. I think Lunar's not even calling him back, or Penguin's not calling him back.
Mhm.
That's a comic company. He's been around technically for 40 years.
Yeah, yeah. Ninja High School.
Ninja High School.
Gold
Yeah,
Digger.
true. Uh, and they still publish a bunch of good. They try to bring back some of the 40s public domain comics. I kind of like them, like Planet Comics and Exciting Comics and Jungle Comics.
Mhm. Yeah, and they'll do some new
So they're
stuff in it. Yeah, it's that I'm trying to think what they did recently. Was it Your? There was some Argentinian comic that they had. It was a Conan character,
yes,
and I
yes,
looked it up. And I looked it up, and that movie you can find on YouTube. It's a movie from like 1971 or something like that. It's like a Conan like ish barbarian, and I think it was in a different language, and then they English dubbed it, and it's like cool, And the movie didn't look very good, but the comic looked great. I don't think anyone has that stuff. I wonder how much a Trag license would be. Maybe I'll get Trag, so, Sky of the
maybe.
Son of the Gods or something.
Mark.
Maybe I'll try to get the really low end. Yeah, Trag, and I'm trying to think what was the other one. Dagar the Invincible.
You know
How
what?
much is
Just take
Dagar
some
the
letters.
Invincible?
Just create your own Conan character. Mine,
Dagar. Oh
The
yeah.
Conan character I had was Nanak. Nanak was my Conan type character. And the whole idea, I wanted to take him and bring him to the future. I kind of wanted to continue the storyline Marvel did with that. What if Conan came to our time?
Oh
I
yeah. Yeah.
always loved that issue. Like the issue ends with like Captain America offering him a spot on the Avengers. And I'm like, what's that book? What would it be like to see Conan on the Avengers? And of course, we got it
That
with
time.
Savage Avengers, but I would have rather
Yeah,
have
but
seen it.
that's very like post Bendis. That
Yes,
was
give me
Jerry Duggan, but that was a Bendis style New Avengers essentially.
yes, give me
So
Avengers of 1980. Give me Jim Shooter Avengers with Conan on it. What does that look like?
give me an Al Milgrom. Give me the Stern
Yes,
Milgrom. Stern
yeah,
Milgrom run.
give me that.
Hey, can we do that as a as a fake comic for
No,
free?
that's and you know
We
what? We'll
can
put it up online,
technically.
and maybe Abrams will reach out to us.
Right.
So the secret about Nanak is just Conan spelled backwards. I just did the
Ah,
Namor
just
Roman,
like Roman.
and you didn't
Hey
even pick up
man,
on it.
no, no, I should
Nanak.
have. Oh crap! Yeah, there was something I saw recent that like I saw this weekend. It was some like romance comic, and then I forget what it was called, but it was by like Cram Comics, and I was like, that's Mark spelled backwards, and it was like it was no, yeah, it was weird. It was something. I was like, what the hell? I was like, what's this? Did I make this in another universe? So
Maybe
that's
that's
right.
universe that's from, right?
Earth
So when your
2.
dad flipped over your mom and smacked that ass a little harder.
Oh my
Different
God.
Mark.
That's horrible. That
That's a
is
great
terrible.
callback.
Don't
Cram.
do that.
He crammed it in there, Mark. He crammed
Yes,
it a
thank
little
you.
further, and
Is that we're ending the show? Is that we're ending the
that,
show?
that's how we're ending the show.
Is that we're ending the show, everybody? All
That's
right.
alternate Mark from a different universe.
No thanks. I could take off the last 5 minutes of this, but I won't. But I'll keep it in for continuity purposes. Also, I don't like editing. I like editing. I don't
Editing.
like
Yeah, you
trimming.
like putting pictures on, but like not
No,
trimming. Yeah, we don't trim.
no trim. Trim the fat. All right, everyone. We'll have a great week. Stay tuned for
Yep.
Reviews Day. Some other special things coming up.
Yep. We got
And
our awesome Last Blood review, which will get put up this week.
it's coming. Just had to
It
redo my
is.
office first. Now I'll
That's
be
more
able to
important.
do it. Now I'll be able to do it. Yeah, my mental health, my OCD, my ADHD, all my initials, every initial you can have. I got them all. Got them all. ED, got them all. Got
You
them
do.
all.
You
All
do.
right.
Mark, cram it up. Have a good
Yep.
week.
Cramming it up. All right. See ya.
See ya.